Birmingham, Alabama for the Magic City Classic, where Alabama A&M and head coach Anthony Jones upset-minded as they take on Alabama State head coach Reggie Barlow.
Franklin said it now. You know what I'm saying? If somebody show you who they are, you got to believe it. You got to believe it. 13 points a game. We got to get off the field. We got to be dominant. We got to force our will on these guys. We got to kick their ass now. Special team, we will score on a punt return now. I believe that. You guys got to believe it. I don't have a whole bunch to say about nothing, man. I just want us to go out here, compete, play with all passion, man. Play for your teammates, and let's get us a victory. Where you at, Justin? Where you at, Justin? Let me hear it again. Let me hear it again. Let me hear it again. Here we go. I will. I will. I will. I will. I will. I will. Detroit. 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 Any man. Any man. Any man. Any man. Any man. Any man. Something was not. 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 Something was not.
Welcome to ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. Alabama State has won 5 straight, and they enter this Magic City Classic game at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, against Alabama A&M, which has won 12 of the last 15 classics. Alabama State right there in the East Division. They lost that game down in Jackson earlier this year. That's the difference right now as Alabama A&M tries to battle itself out of the bottom of the division. And with that, we say welcome inside our broadcast booth with former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis. This game important for each side for different reasons. Alabama State, of course, trying to keep pace in the East Division. Alabama A&M, a bit of an unfamiliar role, playing underdog, trying to pull the upset.
And when you talk about this game, if you look at Alabama A&M and head coach Anthony Jones, they need to pull off the upset here. They've lost signature football games this year. They lost the Louis Cruz Classic. They lost homecoming. A loss in the Magic City Classic. People are really going to be talking. That hot seat will get even hotter. And if you're Alabama State head coach Reggie Barlow, you want to keep pace with Jackson State. They lost that game early in the year. They cannot afford to give up any more ground to the Tigers.
Issue for Alabama A&M has been the youth. The strength for the Bulldogs has been the defense. 2 words, Bronski Towns, the defensive coordinator for Alabama A&M, one of the most respected defensive minds in all of HBCU football. The Bulldogs, if they're doing nothing else right in 2013, it's playing sound fundamental defense, and they make a living off of putting pressure on the quarterback. Challenge for him today will be against the nation's #3 rush offense. Isaiah Cowell, the name that everybody knows, he's been banged up with an injury. Malcolm Cyrus has come in and been fantastic in his place.
And for offensive coordinator Fred Kice, what a luxury it is to have a running back like Malcolm Cyrus, who's rushed for 200 yards in a single game before. You talk about the combination of Crowell and Cyrus, one of the most dynamic 1-2 running back combinations in all of FCS football.
And there is Anthony Jones, who's in his 12th season as the head coach. He's 8-3 in Magic City Classics, but has dropped 2 of the last 3 after starting 7-1 in Magic City Classics in his time as head coach. And Reggie Barlow on the other side for Alabama State is 2-4 in this game, but has won 2 of the last 3. That comes after a career as a player back in the early 90s where he was 4-0 in Magic City Classics. He talks about a memory of his freshman year, breaking out of the scene with a big game on this stage, and one of those moments where he realized he could be a special player. Went on, of course, to a career in the NFL. Now, the Magic City Classic was first played in 1940, with the exception of 43 and 44, has been played every year since. Alabama A&M winning 12 of the last 15 and holding that narrow advantage all time.
And when you talk about both coaches, and Anthony Jones and Reggie Barlow, I don't know if they're 2 more underappreciated coaches in black college football. I mean, Coach Jones at Alabama A&M, all he's done is just win, 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 win. Has a down year, then all of a sudden people start to question. And when you talk about Coach Reggie Barlow, I mean, he's got probably, I think, one of the best teams in all of black college football. They've got a fantastic record, but they've both been the enemy of their own success. They've raised the level of expectation so high at both institutions that when you don't win championships, it's like they almost don't give you credit.
The 76th or 72nd Magic City Classic, Alabama State and Alabama A&M. The kick from Cesar Ramon narrowly bounces into the end zone, and Alabama State will begin at the 25-yard line. With the nation's #3 rushing attack, averaging 38 points a contest. One of the top 20 offenses statistically in the country, and led by Daniel Duhart, redshirt sophomore out of Macon, Georgia, who hasn't played in 3 weeks. Alabama State coming off a bye week. The week before he sat out with a back injury, but they say he's 100% and rust not a concern.
And they've settled on Duhart as a quarterback. Was involved in a quarterback splitting duties with Arsenio Favors. Favors no longer playing for the year. He's injured, out for the rest of the year. They say they've settled on Duhart. He's their guy. We'll see how he performs now, knowing that he's the only quarterback they're relying on at Alabama State.
Against one of the nation's top 15 run defenses, even with 7 first-year starters in that group for Alabama A&M. And they're going to have a delay of game to begin for Alabama State, the 3rd most penalized team in the country. That is inexcusable.
And surprised, because Alabama State is a team that their first 15 plays are normally run off script. They've got them already called what they're going to do. To give up 5 yards in the first play of the game, something that can't happen.
So they'll begin with a 1st and 15. And running the jet sweep for Jarrett Neely, senior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, who they think is due for a big game. And Reginald Bailey with a stop as we look at our impact players for Alabama State.
You got to have a tight end. If you got a team that wants to bring pressure and you want to run the football, having Justin Robinson as your tight end really gives you the ability to seal on that edge. And Demario Bell's got to be a game breaker. This is the defense that's going to be very aggressive. You need somebody to really stretch the defense and make some big plays versus one-on-one coverage.
8 in the box on 2nd down. They throw over the top of it, and it's dropped by Marcus Gamble, who's having a bit of an off season. Just 7 catches for the junior out of Atlanta. And with that penalty that sets him behind the chains, now facing a 3rd and 11.
That one could really hurt them, but that's a play where you got to make that one. Very rarely will Alabama A&M play traditional zone coverage where the quarterback's able to recognize it. They saw cover 3. Gamble not able to hold on.
Opening drive for Alabama State. Duhart pressured on 3rd down, but his eyes downfield, heaves it out of bounds. And Alabama A&M's inexperienced defense forces a 3-and-out on one of the nation's top offenses to begin the game.
Great job playing a cover 2, and all they do is a little stunt on the defensive line. Anthony Lanier, number 90, comes from his nose tackle position, showing good mobility, chasing down Daniel Duhart, forcing him to throw the ball incomplete, out of bounds.
Bobby Wenzig on to punt it away to Terrence Pride. A short wobbling kick that takes an Alabama State bounce. A mistake from Pride not to stop that ball, and it cost the Bulldogs 10 yards on a 49-yard punt from Wenzig. No, Alabama A&M to begin at the 22. This is a group of 7 first-year starters, including Brandon Wells, who's been in a quarterback competition with Jamison Lee. That's the whole issue right now, is they need to find some stability at that quarterback position.
Yep, the turnovers, not protecting the football with the ball security, interceptions and fumble. If you talk to Coach Jones, he'll say the most important thing that's happened to his offense this year has been lack of productivity from the quarterback position.
Run it to Barrington Scott, and he gets shut down by Carlton Jones, the most experienced player on this Alabama State defense, making his 27th career start today.
And Jones is blocked. They've got a body on him. You've got to pull and guard. You've got to seal the end man on the line of scrimmage. That was James Driver coming from the right guard position. Jones did a good job of using his leverage. He's a good player there. Great playmaker there. The senior from Shreveport, Louisiana. Got one of those motors that just doesn't stop.
He's one of just 3 starters back from last year on this defense. 8 first-year starters for Kevin Ramsey in his first season as the D coordinator. 2nd down and 12. And Wells, against pressure, picks up the low snap and throws one that's tipped and then caught by Pride for 3 yards up to the 23 as we take a look at our impact players for Alabama A&M.
In this game here, you know, the wide receiver is going to be the key. A game like this, big plays. You have to rely on them. Monterey Smith has that type of ability, and they have to be able to run the football. Barrington Scott hasn't had a great year thus far, but in this game here, you can become a star. They need a breakout performance from Barrington Scott if they're going to pull off the upset today.
Ball State transfer and his first and only season at Alabama A&M. 3rd down and 7 on the opening possession for the Bulldogs. 7 drop into coverage, and Wells bails out and is pushed out of bounds shy of the 30. Alabama A&M will have to punt as Darius Washington closed on him and sets up a 4th down and a few.
And watch how many black jerseys come free. There you have a 4-man rush. You see 3 black jerseys chasing the quarterback behind the wall of the offensive line for Alabama A&M. If they don't show that they can stop a 4-man rush, it's going to be a long afternoon for Alabama A&M.
Rashad Anderson, who's also 2nd string corner for Alabama A&M, will punt. And Miles Everett waits back deep for Alabama State. .36 yards on the punt. And Alabama State's 2nd drive will begin at the 36. Couple of 3 and outs to begin this 72nd Magic City Classic. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And in part by Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind. Magic City Classic, one of a kind. How about the tailgate? Pretty decent, huh?
Best tailgate I've ever seen in college football. I mean, you can put this up against any place in the country, and this place is second to none in my opinion.
And we'll get a first-hand look at that a little bit later. Jay, you guided us around that tailgating scene before the game.
This is your 2nd classic. It gets better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, the weather's better this year, which helps it tremendously when tailgating is big a part of it as it is. There's Malcolm Cyrus with his first touch. And the first down of the game for either side. That's 11 yards for a guy that has really been good in the place of Isaiah Crowell.
And what a great job by the right guard of pulling around there. Demetri Hickenbottom did a fantastic job acting as a lead blocker, really able to spring Cyrus.
Throwing the bubble screen on first down. Here's Earl Lucas, who's got a team-high 33 catches now, has broke onto the scene after a really quiet first couple of seasons in the program. They said the light has gone on for this kid who's only 5'8", 160, but really good in space.
And they want to see him get the football today with matchups. They think they can attack the linebacking core from Alabama A&M. Look out.
Snap snails by Duhart. He's got to run back inside his own 30 to fall on it. So they go from 2nd down and 7 to 3rd down and long.
The quarterback just wasn't ready for the snap and took a shot at the end of there recovering the football. That was Conrad Johnson. Very fortunate they didn't consider their quarterback Duhart a defenseless player there. He was clearly on the football. Johnson got away with a chop.
Lost 21 yards on that play. So 3rd down and more than a quarter of the field. Duhart setting up the screen. Here's Cyrus. A tackle made by Jeremy Isabel. So that bad 2nd down play kills the drive, and Alabama State has to punt it.
And we were talking before the game, what to expect in this game, and he said this is one of those upset games. This game has upset written all over it.
There's a flag down here, Jay.
Alabama A&M, 5 yards, still be 4th down.
And so you talk about what's it take for an upset. Well, you come out early. You've got an offense that normally gets off to a quick start. They're getting ready to face consecutive 3 and outs. Defense makes a play, turnover here. Those are the things that start giving the team hope. And when upsets start to brew in this type of environment, this type of Class 1 team playing above their heads, Alabama State, I've got them on upset alert right now.
And Wenzik shakes this one.
You see what I'm talking about, Joe? Something in this type of game with you're taking on your in-state rival and you don't come out with your A-plus performance, you give them hope. Alabama State better get it together.
14 yards for a guy that's supposed to be one of the best in the country. Well, it's the most thorough college football show on television. with in-depth analysis, discussion of the standings, potential impact of upcoming games, and interviews from players and coaches. You won't want to go anywhere else. BCS Countdown presented by Discover Card, Sunday 8:30 on ESPN, and then flip over to ESPNU at 9. That show also on Watch ESPN. Alabama A&M second possession now, beginning from the 38. Went 3 and out on their opening drive. And against a loaded box, a rolling snap. Handed off to Barrington Scott, who gets 5 yards. Courtney Berry with a tackle, 2nd and 5.
And one good thing that Alabama A&M has for them, although they're very young, this is a big offensive line. There's not one person on the line that weighs less than 300 pounds. If they can get the ball to Barrington and get him running behind that big line, look for that average yard per carry to go up.
4 first-year starters up there against a defensive line that's the strength for this Alabama State squad. Feed it to the fullback on the second down play, and Derek Billups throws him down. That was Brendan Johnson with his first touch of the day, and it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Now, this is one of the situations where if you're Alabama A&M, your quarterback play comes in. 3rd and a makeable 5 yards here. Nice passing situation, but an obvious pass situation. What's the decision-making process of Brandon Wells going to be?
46% on the season, 3 touchdowns, 8 picks. The sophomore out of Calera, Alabama. Alabama State shows edge pressure. Wells makes a change. And a flag down.
Timeout called, I think.
I'd like to remind you that Legion Field is.
So they got a timeout before the flag flew. And Alabama A&M, which is 107th nationally on 3rd down, will have a little extra time to talk about it.
And that's an example of not having the trust in your quarterback position. You saw token pressure that was going to be applied by Alabama State, outside blitz. Well, not trusting the quarterbacks, not going to turn the ball over or just throw it away. Coach Jones called a timeout from the sideline. And I think that's something there where if he had a quarterback he had a lot of faith in, you would let the quarterback play. But in this case here, haven't had a quarterback establish himself just yet.
Anthony Jones in his 12th season now at Alabama A&M, looking for his 100th win as a head coach today. That's combined between D2 Morehouse College and here at Alabama A&M. He said the ones you remember as far as the Magic City Classic goes are the ones you lose. He said people lose their minds. It hurts them for an entire year losing this game.
Unfortunately for him, he hasn't lost too many of them. He's done a good job in winning classics, and that's why he's got such a long tenure down in Huntsville.
8-3 in his first 11 classics. Wells under center for 3rd and 5. Short roll to the short side, and a high throw is off of the hands of Gialonzo Milton, 4th down.
High pass, but that's one when you're the senior in Gialonzo Milton, you know you've got a quarterback that's struggling. You've got to come down with that catch. No question Wells has to make a better throw, but in this type of game, in this type of environment, wide receivers have to step up and make the extraordinary catch.
Good chance we'll see Jamison Lee as well today. Both guys have played, and as of midway through this week, Coach Jones wasn't even sure who the starter would be. Here's another bad punt that goes out of bounds inside the 40-yard line from Rashad Anderson. This one just 29 yards, and Alabama State takes over when you come back.
Every McDonald's Premium McWrap is a fresh feast of flavor. And now, things just got spicier.
4 possessions and 16 total yards in this game. In the 72nd Magic City Classic, we've not yet seen Isaiah Crowell, the former Georgia star for Alabama State, has been banged up with an ankle injury. It's been Malcolm Cyrus in his place, but when healthy, Crowell is as good of a running back as there is at any level in college football.
He's special. He's got the ability to go from 0 to 60 in 2 steps, which is something you have to be considered a great running back. First guys can't bring him down. Averaging over 110 yards rushing per game. He's a good running back, and they're going to need his services. One of the keys that we've got in this football game. If you're Alabama A&M, you've got to protect the football, quarterback play. Isaiah Crowell touches. Can they win with him having minimal touches because he's coming off of an ankle injury? And special teams, and both teams have done a shoddy job so far.
Alabama State takes over and starts with play action. Down the seam for Robinson, and the tight end behind the coverage inside the 20 and down to the 15. Well, they loaded up that box, and with a play action fake, Robinson got behind him for 56 yards.
Oh, this is just a great seam route here by Robinson. We talked about the impact that he was going to have to make playing that tight end position. Fantastic job of getting open.
Only the 9th catch of the season for the senior out of Grove Hill, Alabama. Duhart has that one knocked down by Jeremy Isabel. We step back to that 56-yarder to Robinson.
But you're going to see Robinson coming from the end man on the line of scrimmage, and this is just a good old-fashioned seam route. Ball's thrown on the money, able to hit him in stride. Gets there, they don't even pick him up. Able to run almost a touchdown. If you can get your tight end open and space down the seam, it's one of the easiest throws for a quarterback to make.
2nd and 10 against a loaded box again. Off his back foot, it's broken up. Harris nearly got his 3rd interception of the season. Instead, it's 3rd down and 10. Boy, that was a jailbreak up front.
Offensive line didn't protect the quarterback, forcing Duhart to throw off his back leg. And Derek Harris, this is the Magic City Classic. That's the play you have to make. That's the game breaker there. The game breaker. You make that pick, could have been running to the house.
Couple of tight ends on this 3rd and 10, and they bring pressure again. Back shoulder throw, and Gamble can't pull it in. 4th down. 2nd drop in the early going for Marcus Gamble. And after the long completion to Robinson, Reggie Barlow's team will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
One-on-one, this is that back shoulder throw. He's got to make that catch. That ball was in a good location by Duhart.
This is Alex Lothan, who's taken over the kicking duties from Bobby Wenzig. And Lothan starts with a miss, short to the right. So after that long completion, Alabama State comes away empty-handed and still no score.
Watch ESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Back in Birmingham, not much offense so far. Really one big play, but then Alabama State couldn't do anything with the ball 1st down at the 15. A missed field goal, and Alabama A&M takes over at its own 20.
I keep saying that Alabama State has to do something to show me that they're not going to get upset in this football game. I mean, missing chip shot field goals, dropping passes in the end zone. If Alabama A&M can put a score on right now on this drive, put some pressure on them, because Alabama State really needs to wake up. They're not playing like one of the top 5 teams in the country.
Brandon Aldemeyer in for his first carry, gets slingshotted out of the backfield and then pulled down from behind. Darius Washington, good speed to catch up. Well, there was room outside for Aldemeyer.
He was going to bounce this, not able to bring him down, and you're going to see Washington come from inside out to make that tackle. There was plenty of daylight to the outside had Aldemeyer been able to escape the tackle by Washington.
Western Kentucky transfer in his first season at Alabama State. It's a loss of 4, 2nd down and 14. For an offense averaging just 13 points a game, 7th worst nationally. Aldemeyer again, and not much room. Stop made by Nick Martin, the corner out of Dothan, Alabama. Got a yard, and it's 3rd down and 13.
And when teams struggle, when they're young and inexperienced, watch the pulling lineman just block nobody. Right here in the center of your screen, wait for somebody to hit. It's like he doesn't know who to hit. The person was already blocked that he was going to engage. Move up to that 2nd level, hit the next guy. When you've got a young and inexperienced line, and that's the right guard, who's just a freshman in Austin Simmons, he's big, he can move, but if you don't know who to hit, you're an ineffective football player.
7 drop into coverage on 3rd and long. Wells down the sideline, incomplete, looking for DeMario Ross. And Alabama A&M has to punt it again. Nick Martin with the coverage, 4th and 13.
And Alabama A&M, offensively, they're struggling. Alabama State normally likes to blitz the quarterback. I mean, they go blitz happy. They haven't even blitzed Wells yet, and he's yet to convert on the first down.
Third drive and third punt for Rashad Anderson, averaging 32 yards a pop. Here's a line drive to Everett. He'll let it bounce all the way close to the 35. Best punt of the day right there for Anderson, 48 yards. Chase for the sprint comp hits the home stretches. Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson lead the Chase Field into Martinsville Speedway with just 2010. But you already knew that, Jay.
Of course I did.
So Alabama State begins its drive at the 35-yard line. Took it down to the 15 and missed a field goal the last time out. And once again, the play clock winds down, and they've got to burn a timeout. Had a delay of game on the first play of the game. And now on the first play of this drive, they've got to burn a timeout. Where does the blame go on that?
You know, maybe the communication between the booth with Fred Keiss, the offensive coordinator, and the sideline. That's Shannon Harris there with the headset, former quarterback at Tennessee State, one of the great ones. So maybe there's lack of personnel, but this is something you don't have. And when you get the football back, you expect it. You go through these routines, sideline maintenance over and over again. They're not getting sophisticated looks from Alabama A&M thus far. But that's 2 times we've seen Alabama State come onto the field on a fresh set of downs, not properly prepared.
Back comes Daniel Duhart, who won the quarterback job during fall camp with his ability to grasp the offense. Starts off with a handoff to Malcolm Cyrus. And Cyrus with a good cut and a good first down gain of 8 up to the 43. And then Chris Irvin dropped him. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Attacking the perimeter, running on the edge. Alabama State feels they're faster than this Bulldog defense.
Cyrus stays on his feet and lost the football. Alabama State back on top of it inside of the 45. Edmund Davis, the center, sprung on top of the loose ball.
This is a great job by Cyrus of keeping his balance, but towards the end of the run, ball comes out, but great recognition by Davis to go over there and field it cleanly. Keep possession with the Hornets.
Jermaine Calmese is the guy that jarred loose. As they go to Cyrus again, the nation's number 3 ground game, averaging 280 yards a contest on the ground. But the Alabama A&M defense has been very good against the run, top 15 nationally. And Isaiah Cowell into the game for the first time. They swing it out to Earl Lucas, who spins his way for a first down inside the 30. Earl Lucas with his 2nd catch and fights forward for a pickup of 10.
You see Crowell making an impact in the game as a decoy, mixed it up a little bit with Arika Jackson. Be interesting to see how much they use Crowell. They said he's coming off an ankle injury. He's had 2 weeks to rest. They didn't know what to expect out of him. Talked to the coaches, and he told the coaches, hey, I know that Malcolm Cyrus is going to give it his all. If he needs to take a blow, feel free to put me in there.
First touch for Crowell with a seam and just barely tripped up, or he was gone. Got 9 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 1 as the former SEC freshman of the year nearly broke his first touch.
He's a Showtime player. He likes to play on the bigger stage. He likes when we show up with the cameras. He shows his thing, and if he was able to keep his balance, he was going to the races.
Near to the teeth of the defense on 2nd down. He'll be close to the first down marker. Ball came out after the whistle. Reginald Bailey leading the charge with Anthony Lanier.
And it was interesting. We talk about Crowell. When I talked to the coaching staff, I said, if you're a football player and you get in this environment, you're going to want to play. And he could be 90%, but you see this crowd and the fans, he's going to want to play. And he shows you right away what he can do, making an immediate impact with his first 2 carries.
Cyrus comes back in. That was enough for a first down. Out of the pistol, right back to Cyrus, who stepped out of a run blitz and then got 4. Up to the 15. Kennard Johnson, Alabama A&M 2nd leading tackler, makes the stop. And it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Malcolm Cyrus showing you the ability to make the first tackler miss as well. Doesn't quite have the top end speed of an Isaiah Crowell, but nonetheless, good running back as well.
Shifting gears in the backfield with a flag down and dropped by Bailey. For a loss of 6 back to the 22. And likely a hold as well.
I think you want to decline this penalty if it's a hold.
Offense, 45, penalty be declined.
It's the fullback Chris Gilzine, and they do decline it, so it'll be 3rd down and long.
You see right here, you're going to engage here. This is the hole. Once the running back starts changing directions, he loses sight of where the ball is. He's trying to push him.
Alabama State 0 of 3 on 3rd down today. The twist getting to Duhart. Tries to drop off the screen to Lucas. But right on top of him was that Alabama A&M defense. It was Philip Harvey. Or Robert Nelson, beg your pardon, that dropped him, and it'll be 4th down.
This is just great recognition by Nelson in the middle of your screen. They're going to try to do a wide receiver screen. He recognized it, comes underneath the lineman. You know what? He wasn't down. You were wondering why he got up running. That knee never did touch the ground, but such a quick play. The officials blew the whistle, ended the play.
2nd attempt for Alex Lothan. This one from 39. It'd be a career long. And it might have been blocked. Oh, it better have been. Picked up in the end zone by Derek Harris, who gets a block and gets the sideline. Derek Harris now looking to come back with a flag behind him. He returns it all the way to the 29, where he's dropped by Robert Rockmore, but it's going to come back inside of the 10-yard line with flags all over the place. Either way, though, 2 possessions into Alabama A&M territory and 2 missed field goals.
34, return team, 10 yards from the bottom of the foul, 1st down.
Great angle there, just speed around the edge. Gets a hand on it just enough to block the kick. We're still in a scoreless football game. That's just a great effort. Speed on the edge.
It's Theron Rice, senior out of Madison, Alabama. 3rd kick that Alabama A&M is blocked. The defense and the special teams giving the Bulldogs a chance. Now can the offense hold up its end of the bargain?
This is an offense that's struggled mightily, and you see why. Just the explosiveness doesn't seem to be there. They have to get better quarterback play from Brandon Wells, and I don't know how much more leeway Coach Jones is going to have before we see Jameis Lee.
The ball hit in the end zone, so it's a touchback. We'll have 10 yards, blocking the back, the 20, 1st down.
So apparently it should have been whistled dead once it went into the end zone, which would mean that the flag shouldn't have ever happened, which would mean the ball should be at the 20, right? If they're saying it was a touchback, then the block in the back came after the ball was dead.
It should be over with, but I don't know if they're necessarily saying it was a touchback. They're giving them credit for the run, and they took it out to the 20, then they took it back 10 yards.
He just said it should have been a touchback.
It's under review.
Now they're going to review the play.
I'm just curious. I mean, what are you going to review? Whether or not the ball went to the end zone? I mean, clearly blocked. I mean, there were no whistles on the play saying stop the play, so everybody kept playing. Yeah, I'm a little confused by this one in terms of what's the review. So that's something that they're discussing amongst themselves there in a little conference. But once again, I mean, Alabama State, if I told you that one of these teams was ranked in the top 5 in the power rankings, you would know which one I was talking about.
Yeah, not right now.
And then we talked about in the 3 keys for the game, Crowell with his touches. So Crowell came in, made a little impact. Quarterback's not turning over the football. That hasn't happened. And special teams play. Well, both teams' special teams, one has been good for Alabama A&M, and for Alabama State, it's been poor. But yet, here we are, knotted at 0 here in this first quarter in the Magic City Classic.
So they continue to take a look at this. Right now, as it stands, they're saying that the ball is returned across the 20 with a block in the back that moves it back to the 10. It was clearly blocked by Theron Rice and then picked up in the end zone by Derek Harris.
They've got the supervisors of officials down there right here. This is Harold Mitchell, supervisor of SWAC officials. You know, this is officiating in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They had a crew face a game suspension for a game versus Alabama A&M versus Southern University. So you know that the officials in this conference are under extra scrutiny, particularly in this game here, trying to make sure they get this right.
Our statistician Barry Allen just says this is moving into more than 4 minutes on the review.
Yeah, and one way or the other, and they haven't asked for a replay review. It's more of a communication interpretation. But there couldn't have been anything in the replay that would have helped unless it was a ball spot.
After further review, the ball was blocked behind line of scrimmage. It touched in the end zone, untouched. So the ball will go back to the previous spot, 22-yard line. The foul for blocking the back will not be enforced. First down.
So the penalty wiped off, and the ball be spotted at the 22. I'm not sure why the penalty will be wiped off if the return counted. So the drive starts at the 22 for Alabama A&M, still looking for its first down of the game. Yeah, that's going to be 15 yards. No question. Roderick Henderson with just a stupid play. Throw the running back down well after the whistle. It was Barrington Scott that got the call and was stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Henderson kept on playing.
Personal foul, 94, defense, 15 yards, previous spot, automatic, first down.
So you've got a team that hasn't got a first down yet. And then he wants to not listen to the whistle. Freshman mistake by Roderick Henderson. And more importantly, outside of the 15 yards you're giving them for the first down, you've got a team that you've dominated, hasn't done anything against them. A play like that will kind of motivate them and say, you see what they're doing to our guys? And if I'm on the Alabama A&M sideline, I'm telling them, look what they're doing to our guys. Look how they're handling us. They're trying to just punk you guys right now on the field. Maybe that can be the spark that Alabama A&M needs to get it going.
That's their first down of the game, and it comes via the unsportsmanlike conduct, personal foul penalty. So first down at the 36 for the Bulldogs. And unless somebody budged up front, that's another penalty on Alabama State. Derek Billups coming off sides.
Offsides. 96, 5 yards, replay, first down.
Third most penalized team in the country, averaging 90 penalty yards a game. Already 25 yards in penalties today for the Hornets. So a first down and 5. That box is crowded as it's been all day. They'll try to throw against it. Wells scrambling. More of a runner than he is a thrower, and gets close to a first down crossing the 45. Stop made by Darius Washington, and Carlton Jones applying the pressure. It is enough. First down.
Carlton Jones is good, but I want you to take a look here at 74, left tackle. You've got a pass play. You've got to hit somebody, right?
Oh.
Miscommunication on the offensive line, not knowing who to block, what your responsibilities are, make you an ineffective football player.
When in doubt, you're not kicking outside.
When in doubt, you block the most dangerous man. Carlton Jones was the most dangerous man. If you're in doubt, block it inside out. He didn't do it. It allowed Jones to disrupt the play.
A whistle and a timeout taken by Alabama A&M. With a minute 6 left in this thoroughly sloppy first quarter. Well, Jay, time to give me 5 with your HBCU power rankings.
Well, let's take a look at it. We've talked about it for a while. The number 5 team, I don't know.
Too late to make a change.
Alabama State, whoa, they're in jeopardy. They look at number 4, Jackson State. Talk about having a good football team. Rick Comegy's, that team's underrated. Number 3, South Carolina State. Number 2, Tennessee State. Number 1, Bethune-Cookman. Now, why not highlight those games? Because right now there's a showdown taking place in Daytona Beach between Bethune-Cookman and South Carolina State. Any one of those teams wins in impressive fashion, they may become the number 1 team. I may have to consider if South Carolina State can beat Bethune, you may have to jump them ahead of Tennessee State, because when Tennessee State took on Bethune-Cookman, they lost by only 3 points. If the Bulldogs are able to win impressively, what do you think? Should I give them the number 1 spot if they're able to do that?
It's a Bethune-Cookman team that's won 16 straight conference games.
Yeah, those 2 programs don't like each other, though. Look, I see you know a little Wildcat football. 16 straight, huh?
Yes, sir. So first down, here's Barrington Scott with no room. Ripped down by Chris Terry. And as the clock winds inside of a minute in this first quarter, 2nd and 10.
Does Alabama State look like a top 5 team?
No.
I mean, and you're taking on a team that's 2 and 5, and you've got the atmosphere here, everything that you want.
You
Great
did.
Football weather.
You did have the atmosphere.
And now you're allowing Alabama A&M to move the ball, helping them out with penalties. I don't know how prepared, I shouldn't say prepared, I don't know how ready the mentality was Alabama State. You hope they didn't get caught up in all the distractions here in Birmingham this week.
Second down at 10. Wells is pressured, resetting his feet. And Alabama State does a good job to have him in. Leland Baker, their second leading tackler, who had a career-high 17 stops in their last game, pulls him down.
Hate to keep doing this, but you've got to know who you're going to block. Take a look right there. That's the freshman, Austin Simmons. Who's he blocking?
Nobody.
Turned his back to the defense, disrupt the play from the middle. Fortunately, Brandon Wells has the ability to make defenders miss. They've got to shore up their assignments on the offensive line for Alabama A&M.
That does it for this first quarter. Almost, thank goodness. Hopefully the second's better. No score in the 72nd Magic City Classic.
Only 4 races left.
No score as we start the second quarter of play. Alabama State, Alabama A&M going at it. We now have Harold Mitchell in with us, who is the coordinator of officials in the SWAC. We just saw an interesting play that resulted in a review. Can you guide us through what you were looking at there?
The field goal try was blocked at the line of scrimmage, and it rolled untouched into the end zone, which is automatic touchback. When he ran the ball out, there were 2 fouls that were not personal fouls. They were pushes in the back. By rule, that's a touchback, and it goes back to where he kicked the ball, which was the 22-yard line. Originally, they were putting it at the 20-yard line, and they realized through replay that the kick started at the 22-yard line, so that's why it went back to that spot. You don't count the fouls because unless they were personal fouls, you would not enforce them.
Excellent. Okay.
That's up there. So when the ball is blocked, you're not allowed to return the ball if it goes into the end zone.
You're right. Untouched into the end zone.
Okay. Well, we appreciate it, Harold.
Thank you so much, Harold.
Stopping by and guiding us through that play.
Now, I hope Harold can tell me I get the 5 minutes back of my life it took in order to get that call. As long as they got it right, though.
Draw play on 3rd and 15 going nowhere. Come on, you wait till he gets off the headset to say that, and he can't stand up for himself.
Well, that's my guy. He's a good one. And I've always said, we say this with instant replay, and I know it's not always fan-friendly because of the time delays. When you work so hard, you just want the officials to get the call right, so the game's not determined by a missed call or a misinterpretation of the rules.
So Alabama A&M, with the help of some penalties, shifts the field at least, but will now have to punt it away for the 4th time in this first half. Shot Anderson. Sidewinding kick that goes out inside the 30. Well, ESPNU's coverage of women's college soccer continues tomorrow with a matchup out of the SEC. Aggies facing off with Savannah Jordan and the Gators. ESPNU's women's college soccer, Texas A&M and Florida, Sunday, 3 o'clock on ESPNU and live on Watch ESPN.
And what another missed opportunity. I mean, this is just bad football we're seeing right now, Joe. You've got a team with an opportunity to pin them deep, and they come up with a 30-yard punt. That's not winning the battle of field position.
It's not good. Alabama State back on offense, and with play action to begin the drive. Duhart has it knocked away, and they call it an incomplete pass. So they ruled that his arm was coming forward, and pressure from behind jarred it loose from Jermaine Calmese.
You'll see Calmese going by the quarterback, but does a good job of sticking his hand out there, able to knock it free. And that's a good job. That's great recognition. If you can't get the sack of the quarterback, at least try and get the throwing motion stopped.
Malcolm Cyrus on 2nd down gets 9. It'll be 3rd and 1. Alabama A&M shifted the field some with a punt, but the entire game has been played in the other half of the field. They get the 1st down with Chris Gilzine. Chartavius Keith makes the tackle, but Alabama State able to convert on 3rd down for the first time today.
And this is what they want to do. You're pretty certain that offensive coordinator Fred Keiss is going to try and seize control of the line of scrimmage. One thing they're normally pretty good at, the Hornets, grabbing control of the line of scrimmage, allowing the running game to prosper. Now he's trying to establish that they can run the football.
Toss to Cyrus, angled out of bounds at the 45. Robert Nelson pushes him out. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Keiss, 3rd season at Alabama State. He's been in HBCU football for a long time, though. Most recently at Hampton, but he's also been at Tennessee State, Morgan State, Southern, and Alabama A&M once upon a time.
And one of the nicest guys you're going to meet in terms of college football coaching fraternity.
Cornelius Fenderson runs the hitch route, gets a 1st down against A.J. Clark on a gain of 7.
This is when now you're starting to heat up Daniel Duhart, but I think you go back to the run. You're able to run the football and pick up the 1st down on 2 consecutive runs. Make Alabama A&M show that they can stop you running the football, particularly on the perimeter.
Play action on 1st down. Duhart off his back foot, hangs it up, and it's caught by Everett. 1st down to the 30. Only the 9th catch of the season for Miles Everett, goes for 19 yards.
See, that's why I'm in the booth and I'm not coaching. I think you keep running the football, but this is a great play dialed up. You get one-on-one in the soft spot of the cover 2 defense. Nice throw by Duhart.
Cyrus, wide side, breaks out of a tackle and gets a first down to the 18. Malcolm Cyrus, who had a career-high 241 yards and the game-winning touchdown in overtime against Prairie View 2 weeks ago for Alabama State, continuing to carry the load, but Isaiah Crowell banged up. Junior out of Otaugaville, Alabama, already 59 yards in this game. And they give it to him out of the Wildcat on this first down play, able to get 4. It's a guy that's been overshadowed in the last year and a half because of Crowell transferring to Alabama State, but Fred Keiss, the offensive coordinator, would tell you he's been his #1 fan all 3 years he's been here on campus.
Because of his work ethic. I mean, that would, to a lot of folks, that would demoralize you. You've got a 5-star recruit coming to play running back. You know he's going to play, but Cyrus continued to work, and he used it to elevate his game. And now, if you think about it this way, there's a lot of talk that Isaiah Crowell will declare for the NFL draft after the season. So now you're going to have Malcolm Cyrus coming back for a senior year with experience, having had the ability to watch Crowell and some of his tendencies. That's how you turn a negative situation into a positive.
Duhart boots as his tight end Robinson in the flats, instead zips it for Jarrett Neely. Touchdown, Alabama State. 14 yards for Neely's first touchdown of the season.
That's a shot right there. He threw that ball on the line. Good job by Neely. Tiptoeing the line, stretching the ball inside the pylon for the score.
Reggie Barlow told us that Jarrett Neely's coming off a great couple of weeks of practice with a bye week. Fred Keiss saying he thinks that he's due for a big game, and a big part of what they were doing in practice the last 2 weeks.
Timeout. Alabama State.
This is what you're going to call a 3-level throw on the bootleg here. Watch the play action fake, and they're going to really get the end man on the line of scrimmage in a bind. He's going to lose sight of the football. Once he loses sight of the football, it becomes take your pick on which throw you want to make, and Duhart decides to go to the 2nd-level throw, zings it in there. That's great ball control by Duhart.
And then Reggie Barlow having to burn a timeout before the extra point.
I wonder, I mean, was he in? They never, so he was in. They put the touchdown on the board, so I guess they're saying it was touchdown. I thought it was
If it's in
clear.
question, though, why are you taking a timeout if you're Reggie Barlow? Get the extra point kicked as soon as you can. Yep.
That's touchdown. It's good body control.
So the senior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, breaks the scoring seal. 3.5 into the 2nd quarter. Alex Lothan ready to attempt the extra point eventually. Ball still hasn't been marked ready. Now let's do it. And it's 7-0 Alabama State. The preseason pick to win the SWAC. Dropped its first 2 games, looking for its 6th straight win. And it's Jarrett Neely from Daniel Duhart from 19 yards. Alabama State in front.
We've always got something to do for you. Only here in Birmingham can you bring out the spoon camera. You can not only taste what I'm going to taste, but maybe get a little feel for it as well. All right, now I'm down here some barbecue. I got this, man. I got this. I got this. I got this. You got this.
You're running the show down there, huh?
Well, that's what you got to do. That's when, you know, and you do it. But see, now here's the key. Here's how you know what I'm doing. Right there, I tell them, they try to give me some sauce. No, it's not time for sauce.
Ruin it yet.
Don't ruin it yet.
No.
Yeah. So I had to go there and show them, you know, I got skills.
What's your favorite item you had?
Ribs, come on, man. Ribs, but there was some good sausage down there as well. That was really good. You know, the folks you saw there, I've told you for years, the classic so special. People didn't believe me. So I had to bring my boys in.
Yeah.
So I got buddies in town from Maryland, from Florida, from Georgia, South Carolina. So that was a crew you saw there.
How many of those guys are coming for the first time, their first classic?
Four.
All four?
All four.
Against Alabama State.
Another penalty on Alabama State. This drive will start at the 35.
See? So that's my crew. We got Ed from Atlanta, Sly from Charlotte, Zoe from Orlando, and JD from Maryland. And,
you got them in some good seats, or
I think so. Yeah.
Take care of them?
They got to hang with me and you.
Okay.
You know, hey, here at the Classic, all I can do is tell them about it. If I get them here, they can't enjoy themselves. They're on their
job
own.
from there.
Yeah.
Reggie Barlow's team with a 7-0 lead, but it's not been pretty. Got to figure he's happy with what the defense has done, holding Alabama A&M to 10 yards on 14 plays, but this should be a lot worse than a 7-0 game right now.
A team that's got 10 yards total offense, and you're only up by a score, and they should, but this is us learning things. And, you know, when you play in this Classic, sometimes people go out there and they try and do a little bit more than their assignment. But clearly they've shown physically they've got the ability to dominate Alabama A&M.
Drive starts from the 35. Barrington Scott behind the fullback Brian Nelson with a hard run. Was popped by DeAndre Rashada after 3 yards, and it's 2nd and 7.
DeAndre Rashada is the hardest hitter in this secondary for Alabama State. And he's going to show Barrington Scott why. Listen to this. That is how you finish a tackle.
Rashada, the leader of that secondary, guy that has kind of taken over that role from Kewan Riley. Rashada tried to be better than when he got here, the staff said, but once he settled down and stopped trying to do that, it's been a different player. Flag down as well. Sailed one over wide open. Terrence Pride.
Offsides. Defense. 14. 5 yards. Replay. 2nd down.
Another penalty on Alabama State, but that's a throw you've got to make. There's nobody within 10 yards of Terrence Pride.
And he escaped the pressure, so that's an easy throw and catch where no need for the penalty. But when you've got quarterbacks out there and they're doing a lot of thinking, he just thought get rid of the football, missed the throw.
Second down and 2. And 6 at the line of scrimmage for Alabama State. Option play to the short side. And Scott sticks his shoulder down with enough for a first down. Rashada again out of the secondary for that big collision, where the Bulldogs move the chains up near midfield.
Now they're getting closer to midfield. They've gotten to this part of the field before. When are they going to start allowing Brandon Wells to make some plays, or does the game plan for Alabama A&M take it completely out of Brandon Wells' hands, rely on the running game?
It's been all run on this drive. Big hole for Barrington Scott, who's got a first down to the 40. Touchdown saving tackle from Najee Bright after 13 yards.
Yeah, this is a great job by the offensive line. This time they're hitting people. Assignment football. You see a body on a body. Great job by James Driver, number 71. Seal. That's the seal block there. Then Barrington Scott turns on the Jets for the big game for the Bulldogs.
First time they've been into Alabama State territory today. A Ball State transfer in his first and only season at Alabama A&M. Box is loaded. Play action. Got rid of it and got Upshaw for close to a first down. Toriano Upshaw has been playing well lately. Junior out of Brantley, Alabama, and a tight end they'd like to get more involved. It's just a matter of having a quarterback that can get him the ball.
And anytime you've got a team that's coached by a former tight end's going to be a crucial position. And they think in Upshaw he can be a really good one.
Second down and short. Scott again. Ran into his own lineman, but still got it out for a first down. Ran into the backside of Alan Cruz, who's the only returning starter up front for the Bulldogs.
We've seen him do this play several times. I don't know if James Driver, you're going to see the guard here, I don't know if he's fast enough, number 71, to be a pulling lineman. You know, choppy steps, not getting to that second level. You want to have the ability to pull your lineman, but, you know, he's got size 6'6", 315 pounds. That 6'6" may not make him a good puller. You want your guys that pull to have short legs where they can make short strides and steps. James Driver a couple times has seemed to almost get in the way to have trouble pulling from that left side.
Play action again on first down. Wells back over the middle with a flag down. Threw that thing up for grabs. Nobody in the area.
Illegal shift on the offense. Number 1, never got set. 5 yards, replay, first down.
So we're talking about Driver. This is Driver right here. Now, let's see. He's supposed to pull. Not quick enough. So he's got thrown in the backfield. Nobody to block. He didn't do anything on that play. And I think just schematically, I don't know if he seems to have the foot speed to do that. At 6'6", 315, probably built more like a tackle than he is a guard. But because of the inexperience, he's had to step up and play this guard position.
Should be a little quicker if he's wearing that face mask. You know?
Well, you went to him.
If you're going to be a big tough guy, get a big tough face mask. Scott probes for room. And Swarm at the line of scrimmage. I.G. Bright was there for the stop, and it's second down and long. This is a drive where Alabama A&M has to get points, because these chances where you move this deep into field, they're not happening too often for the Bulldogs.
Well, for offenses that struggle, you know, third downs normally ends drives for teams like Alabama A&M this year. And I think you really want to put points on the board, because we started to see signs of life from Alabama State that last offensive series, moving the football. And right now coming out, you've got man-to-man coverage. So when they reset this clock, man-to-man coverage, as a quarterback, when you get man-to-man coverage and things aren't really going well for you, you simplify things. Who's my best wide receiver? Find him. Make him take it away.
Montarius Wright's been the guy. He's lined up in the slot to the near side with their fastest receiver, Terrence Pride, split. Looking in that direction. Now pressured by Berry. Heaving one out of bounds, and it's third down.
And with man-to-man coverage, it takes the receivers a little bit longer to get open, because they have to set up the route. But when you elect to leave the pocket prematurely and come up with an incomplete pass, and all of a sudden Jamison Lee's over on the sideline saying, "Coach, give me a chance. I can hit a couple passes for you."
His number is not any better than Wells. 45%, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks in his 2 starts. Desperate to have somebody take control of this job. Anthony Jones saying in every way, on the field, off the field, in practice, leadership. Pressure on third and long off his back foot for one-on-one coverage, but over the head of Ross with a flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
Offsides. Defense. Number 50. 5 yards. Replay. Third down.
By the way, the kicker for Anthony Jones' team, Cesar Ramon, is 1 for 5 this year. So if you're thinking about that, stop.
Let's say field goal.
Yeah.
In my Jim Moore voice. Field goal.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, they can barely make an extra point, let alone a field goal.
They've missed 4 extra points this year as well. To Wells and Lee, who have shared the job. It's been all Wells today. That play clock winding down. Not sure he knows. Does get it off in time. Flag down again. Lost the ball with a 3-man rush.
And didn't take advantage of the free play. Once again, Alabama State offsides. Caught them in the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense. 95. 5 yards. Replay. 3rd down.
That's Alabama A&M's most effective play.
You're getting them to jump off sides when the Hornets get overly aggressive on the defensive side of the ball.
5 penalties, 40 yards. Reggie Barlow not happy.
And Alabama State's up 7-0, but right now this game is crawling at a snail's pace. That's the style of play that Alabama A&M would prefer to have. They know they cannot afford to get into a high-scoring affair versus Alabama State.
So from 3rd and 15 to 3rd and 5, and down the sideline with another flag down. Michael Sowers is going to get called, and this will be 1st down Alabama A&M.
Now, unless it's holding, I'd pick it up. That ball landed 5 yards out of bounds. It was a poor throw unless it's the holding. If they want to call the holding, okay. But this ball was not catchable, and that's the signal you're seeing from Reggie Barlow. And that's the thing as a quarterback, if you give your receiver a chance, you're going to get the penalty.
Yeah, 1-on-1, and he threw it 10 yards out in front of him. They're going to pick it up.
There is no flag on the play. The ball was uncatchable, out of bounds.
And that's one, you place that squarely on the quarterback. If you give him a chance to make this catch, look where this ball lands. I mean, that's 5 yards out of bounds. If you just give him a chance to make a play, put it in the vicinity, you're going to get a 1st down. Instead, they pick up the flag, and now you're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. And I don't know if you even go for the field goal for Anthony Jones the way they've struggled.
No, no way. And they won't. 4th down for Alabama A&M. They've gone for it on 4th down 17 times this year. Converted on 7 of them.
And you wonder why the football team's struggling. No faith in your field goal kicker. No faith in your quarterback. Offense ranked at the bottom of the conference.
Alabama State brings 6. Wells got rid of it, but it's dropped by Milton. That's Montarius Smith that dropped it. Carlton Jones applied the pressure, and Alabama State takes over. Credit to Wells for standing in and getting rid of it, though.
Just a matter of time before they brought pressure, and that's Carlton Jones coming on a stunt from his defensive end position. Puts a pop on Brandon Wells.
So Alabama State takes over.
Solomon Northup is my name. I was a free man until I was.
Ramsey, first-year D coordinator for Alabama State, came over from Texas Southern, where they twice led FCS in total defense, getting after his group during the break.
And look here, when he's talking to him, he's trying to get him motivated, tell him, hey, let's concentrate, let's focus, see the football, figure it out. And then he's also going to tell him, look, stop listening. He's pointing. Hey, stop listening. Look at the football. When you're a defensive lineman, the ball's in front of you. Look at the football. Stop jumping off sides and hurting ourselves.
Isaiah Crowell starts his drive at running back, but not before another flag.
Illegal snap on the offense. 65, 5 yards, replay, 1st down.
7th penalty of the first half on Alabama State.
Illegal snap on the offense. I haven't heard of that one. I mean, if you're the center, that's the center. He snaps the ball. If he does it early, that's his fault.
I guess that'd just be a budge of the ball. It's Crowell, good vision, good patience. 5 yards on 1st down, back to the original line of scrimmage.
And that's what you like about Crowell. There was absolutely nothing there. I mean, he should have been tackled for a loss in the backfield, able to lower his shoulder pad level, squirt past the line of scrimmage, and pick up 5 yards.
Crowell again. Couple of nice cuts. They get 4. Be 5, and it'll be 3rd down and very manageable as Derek Harris drops him.
Watch how many moves he throws on this little simple run. Cut. Get in here. Cut. 2 cuts in a small window. He's special.
His 5th play today. Here comes pressure. Picked up initially. Leaks in late. Duhart bounces, but gets dropped down by Nelson. And Alabama State with a 3-and-out after forcing a turnover on downs.
It's just a matter of time. Take a look. Look how deep nobody is for Alabama A&M. You know the pressure's coming. It's a Bronski Town staple. Good recognition by the offensive line of Alabama State, but nowhere to go with the football.
And so Bobby Wenzig on for his 3rd punt. Shanked the last one. Nails this one. Terrence Pride retreating on one that bounces inside the 10. And Pride smartly picks it up and gets a few on a 60-yard punt for Bobby Wenzig. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the new inductees into the Black College Football Hall of Fame as the 72nd Magic City Classic rolls on.
We're just looking, right?
Of course.
This is the Leo Diamond.
Wow.
It's the first diamond ever independently certified to be visibly brighter.
It's perfect. It even fits.
That's because I already had it sized. Will you marry me?
The visibly brighter Leo Diamond, handcrafted by the master diamond artisans.
2014 for the Black College Football Hall of Fame includes a former Bulldog and John Stallworth and Michael Strahan, who's much more than a former football player now these days. Satellite Totten, you've taught me something.
There you go, Satellite. You're learning, Joe, youngster. Marino Castle, where'd he coach? Name one of the schools. Come on.
Alcorn State.
All right.
Alabama State.
Where else?
Southern.
Joe Davis, everybody.
Yeah, pretty good. First down for Alabama A&M, throwing the fade as they stick with Brandon Wells, and he seals it by Smith.
Where was that ball thrown again?
Out of bounds.
3 or 4 yards out of bounds.
Give him a
that's
chance.
Not a catchable throw. You know, and he's doing 2 things wrong. He's releasing it with the low line drive, which means you have to make a perfect pass. If you put air under it, the wide receiver can run under the football, can readjust to the football. You throw line drives out of bounds, they can't make plays.
2 for 8 to begin this game. Brandon Eldemeyer in for his 2nd drive. The slider with the 2 backs gets tossed down by Darius Washington, sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Off to a good start in this game defensively for Alabama State.
And this is the danger zone right now for Alabama A&M. You're only down 7, but you go 3 and out. Less than 5 minutes to go before the half. They come out, they put a score on you in response, and you go into the locker room trailing by 2 scores. If you're Alabama A&M, you've got to come up with your best play right now, or else this game can get away from you in a hurry.
Wells steps into a bad throw. He's 2 for 9, and it's 4th down.
I'm not even going to blame this one on Wells. It seemed like the wide receiver drifted on the route. Gialonzo Milton, good protection. They bring an extra blocker in. Wells throws the ball. You see that look right there. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I thought I saw Milton drift on the route as well instead of coming back to the quarterback.
And now the 5th punt of this first half for Rashad Anderson. Alabama State primed to get good field position. $35-yard punt. The Hornets will have it at the 49 with 4:18 left to go in this first half. When we go to break with a spoon cam here at the Magic City Classic in Birmingham. A little sausage.
The hard work.
Back in Birmingham, back with a spoon cam. Jay getting his plate made before the game.
And that was a fried green tomato before we actually fried it. Okay. So you got to put the greens on there. Got to eat healthy. Keep the wife off me. Yes, I'm getting my greens in and the veggies. And then you got something good. You got some meat on it. You got to put a little extra sauce on it.
Wow.
The sauce and then the cornbread, which was good. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I probably shouldn't have did this, but I didn't have a fork.
It's a spoon can. Nobody else is using
and
the spoon
it's
can.
my spoon can.
That's right.
We don't share it.
Wanted to bring it up here to show me scooping my lasagna and rolls, but I didn't think that'd be very good TV. Alabama State trying to extend this lead as we close in on halftime. Duhart down the seam, too tall for DeMario Bell, and it's 2nd and 10.
Bell tried to climb the ladder. Ball just got away from Duhart. That was a good look there. And right now, still say with 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go here before the half, if you're Alabama State, put some points on the board. Put Alabama A&M down by more than a touchdown. Try and demoralize them before they head into the locker room.
Duhart just 7 of 16 through the air. The success has been on the ground, as it's been much of the year. It's the nation's #3 run offense. Malcolm Cyrus behind Justin Robinson for a 9 or 10 yard gain to the 40. There is a flag down. Robert Nelson making the tackle for the Bulldogs. If trends hold true, this will definitely be on Alabama State. Or do they buck the trend?
After the play was over, personal foul, offense, 74, 15 yards, replay, first down.
Nope. I mean, come on.
Numbers never lie, right? Yay, yay.
Ice Cube in the building. 8th penalty of the half, by the way.
What do I do in this situation? I mean, look at Ice Cube. He's had so much influence on my life. Do I act like he's not Ice Cube? Is it okay for me to be a fan while still being a professional?
Yeah.
I think so. You know, one thing about the Classic, always spring surprises on you. So, Joe, I don't know if you know this, but your partner's not going to be here after halftime.
What am I going to do?
In the booth. You've got to hold it down. I'm going down on the field.
Oh, my goodness.
Especially with Ice Cube in the house. I'm running to the field.
You may not come back. Are we going to hear from him? Are you going to? You got enough pull where we can hear from Ice Cube?
You know, I'm a city boy. He's a city boy. I think we're going to try to work something out, Joe. Are you doubting my skills?
No, I'm a city boy too. Right with you.
You're a city boy.
Potterville. That doesn't sound city to you?
It sounds like Main Town, USA, anywhere.
Yeah. Population 3,000 or 4,000.
I had 3,000 kids go to my high school, Joe Davis.
I had 300. So instead of 3rd down and short with a personal foul, 3rd down and 15. And Duhart steps out of a collapsing pocket and goes down. Chartavius Keith, who's really been playing well, the converted linebacker starting at that defensive end spot, gets his 3rd sack.
And they moved him there just because they like to bring speed from the edge. Way to stay with the play, track down the quarterback for the big sack. That's a huge play for the Bulldogs.
That's a big stop for Alabama A&M. You talked about it. The 2-score deficit for an offense that doesn't have anything going would have been huge.
And that's the problem. You talked about the trends from Alabama State hurting themselves. They got the ball in excellent field position, but moved backwards. And now Alabama A&M still has hope.
Look out here with Terrence Pride. Good speed. Pride to the sideline. Terrence Pride brings Alabama A&M within an extra point. But a flag down back at midfield.
I think we got a Lee Corso coming. Not so fast.
During the run back, block in the back, 39 White, 10 yards, first part of the foul, first down.
Deron Rice, who blocked the field goal earlier. The question is, did they need that block for the fastest guy on this team to go?
You know, so often we see the players clearly going by him. Oh, wow. He saw, no, it can't be a block in the back because the defender saw it coming. He braced for the hit. Oh, no. I mean, you see Rice coming to make the hit. The defender sees him coming up. I'm going to push you in the back. I don't see you coming. I don't have eyes behind my helmet, behind my head. He comes and watch the defender brace for the hit. I don't see how this is the block in the back. He's bracing. He's going low. He sees it coming.
Head in front.
Head in front. Oh, they missed that one. And that's a game changer. I mean, that's a call there. You feel for him. I mean, team struggling offensively, have an opportunity to tie the football game, and wow.
Play clock winding down and a delay of game. Or did they get a timeout? And they did.
Timeout. Alabama A&M.
Well, it's the most thorough college football show on television. BCS Countdown presented by Discover Card. As in-depth analysis, discuss into the standings, look back at games that have affected it, and we'll look forward. Don't want to go anywhere else. BCS Countdown presented by Discover Card tomorrow night, 8:30 on ESPN, then at 9 on ESPNU. Game day is at Oregon. 5th straight year it's been there. Oregon still on the outside looking in BCS standings-wise.
Their schedule gets tougher as you get later into the year. So they're taking on UCLA later on. So that's a ranked team. If they win out, they should have the ability to catch them. I think if Oregon wins and Alabama wins, those two teams will meet up.
Well, and Alabama and Florida State both rolling today. Here's Brandon Aldemeyer out of the backfield. Pushed out by Showers after a dozen.
If all those teams go undefeated, how is it so tough to leave one of those teams out? I mean, if Florida State runs the table and you're going to leave out Jameis Winston, Alabama runs the table, you're going to leave them out? I mean, you know.
No, I don't think that's happening.
And then nobody's talking about Ohio State. I mean, is that lack of respect for the Big Ten or what? They've got an opportunity to go undefeated
for the second year in a row.
Can you say playoffs?
Yeah, going to be fun next year. Booting out is Wells. And dropped by Smith. Coverage from Michael Showers. It'll be second down and 10. And there's a flag down. But it's an
Showers covering. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. On defense, 21, 15 yards, automatic first down.
It's DeAntrell Silman.
I mean, self-inflicted. I mean, a roughing the passer, quarterback's on the move, a quarterback that's throwing less than 50% today. So you get rid of it. Gave him the hit and the push. It's that close, you just don't do it. I mean, they've made it clear throughout college football and even in the pro game. You can't touch a quarterback. Don't touch him. Unless you're sure he's got the football.
Alabama A&M has 51 yards of total offense, 75 yards of penalties helped from Alabama State. Another deep drop. Floats one. Nowhere close to Aldemeyer, who had beaten Washington. At some point, you got to consider Jamison Lee, don't you?
Yeah, but you also say if Lee's on the bench, if he's the backup,
yeah.
Only your backup for a reason. Can things get worse? They just, there's no chemistry. There seems to just be no chemistry in this passing game. I mean, simple things like a 3-step drop where you make a pre-snap read and get rid of the ball quickly. We don't see that. You see wide receivers drifting on routes downfield. Miscommunication, balls thrown out of bounds. This passing game just looks brutal at times.
It's 3 of 12 today. 3 of 13. Pressure from Courtney Berry, 3rd and 10.
And at times, you know, I think if I had to describe it, their passing game for Alabama A&M looks like sandlot football. I mean, the quarterback doesn't seem like he's making a read. The receivers don't seem to be on the same page. There's no timing. It's like just run, get open, and then I'll throw you the football.
Came into the game at 46%. And that number's dropping. Now facing a 3rd down. They're 1 for 6 on 3rd down today. Alabama State drops 7 into coverage. 4-man rush, gets to him and brings him down. That's Derek Billups, who's turned into a leader with this defense. Seeing his first action in a few years, getting the 2nd sack of the year.
and Billups comes from his defensive tackle position. You're going to see just hard penetration up the middle, around the edge. Edward Mosley, number 99, with penetration, and Billups firm in the middle.
He made 6 starts as a freshman in 2010, then went to JUCO to get his grades in order. Then in 2011 was ineligible. So, guy that worked back into favor at Alabama State and been a big part of what they've done. Punt team comes out not wanting to give Alabama State any better possession than they have to, as Alabama A&M takes a delay of game penalty here. Anthony Jones talking with Brandon Wells, who is 3 of 13 to begin this game.
And if you go, by looking at the body expressions, Brandon Wells don't look good, don't look confident. You need your quarterback to be confident. He doesn't seem to have it.
Everett signals for a fair catch and makes it at the 16. Alabama State with the ball and 1 timeout. And a minute 20 left in this half. How up-tempo are you? Do you see what you get on the first play and go from there?
Yep, I think so. You maybe try quick strike pass, 3-step drop, or a little handoff draw to Cyrus or Crowell, see if they can break one. But you are backed up, and when you've dominated the team thus far, even though you're only up by 7, you got to protect that lead.
Alabama A&M, by the way, will have the ball to begin the second half. They've only moved it 46 yards total today. Alabama State outgaining Alabama A&M by about 4 times, but still only a 7-0 lead. Here's Cyrus getting loose with blockers in front. And Malcolm Cyrus all the way to the 35. That's the big play they needed to start the drive. 51 yards before Rice brings him down.
Yeah, call the quick run, see if you can spring something. Run into the perimeter. That's been their game plan. And what a great job by Hickenbottom, number 70. The offensive lineman, he's been very active in the run game today.
Bubble screen, they've got him outnumbered, and Lucas gets cut down. How did Derek Harris not get blocked?
He got blocked. That was just a great individual effort by Harris, making the tackle while a wide receiver was trying to block him. That was a touchdown saving tackle by Derek Harris.
Malcolm Cyrus a little bit banged up after that long run. That's why Crowell's in now. He's banged up himself. A flag. Already over 100 yards, has done so both weeks with Crowell banged up recently. Career high 241 his last time.
And if you're Alabama A&M head coach Anthony Jones, you can't catch a break. You put their starting running back out of the game, and now they bring in Isaiah Crowell off the bench, who's probably, no question, the best back in FCS football.
Not sure what the issue is here. Ten penalties in this first half on Alabama State.
On the offense, Alabama A&M has chose to have a 10-second runoff enforced.
So they run the 10 seconds. Now Alabama State can avoid that with a timeout, but they'll keep the timeout and face a second down and about 10.
You know why they're keeping the timeout? You're thinking they would keep timeout because they plan on running the ball. Sometime another run before this half is over, or somebody would get tackled inbounds and not have the ability to kill the clock. But thinking, I know Fred Kite's the way I do. Don't be surprised if you see number 1 get his hands on the football.
The previous play is under review.
What are they reviewing? It was a bubble screen. For no gain.
And it was.
If they're reviewing the clock, then tell us that.
Some days officials don't have good days at the office either. This just seems to be one of those games. Coach Barlow's Alabama State squad not having a good day on the field. A&M's not. I think we're doing okay here in the booth.
I think we're undefeated up here. It has not been a pretty 30 minutes of football by any stretch.
Previous play is confirmed.
So the clock says over a minute, then they let it run down to when they took. It's now at 41 seconds, so they seem to have it all right.
Again, I think that what you need from the officiating crew is just a better explanation of what they're looking at instead of saying the play's under review. And again, the SWAC has replay on TV games only.
Well, there is a question. I get what Coach Jones is worried about now. We saw the 40-second clock running down, but there was also supposed to be a 10-second runoff.
Here's Duhart with his eyes downfield, lofting one into the end zone, and Bell went up and got it. Touchdown, Alabama State. There is a flag down back where the ball was thrown from. Was Duhart past the line of scrimmage?
For the ASU score, flag on the play.
Go back to your trends. What'd you say about your trends? Trends would have you think that this is going against who, Joe?
I'd go with Alabama State.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10 yards. Replay. Second down.
Oh. Well, now we're even as far as big plays getting wiped off of the board.
This was a touchdown, and we talked about kicking bottom earlier. Number 70. I didn't see it.
Heck of a play by Demario Bell, who really broke onto the scene in this game last year. Not like Reggie Barlow did as a young kid during his playing career. Alabama State, which is the third most penalized team in the country at 90 yards a game, has 90 penalty yards in this half. Duhart zips one for Lucas, who stays on his feet, and Lucas is to the 15. Deron Rice makes the stop on a first down pickup at 34. Still one timeout left for the Hornets, and the clock stopped with a first down.
Take a look at this previous play. This is a little setup screen they're going to set up here. You're going to see Lucas right here give you a little stutter step and go. A little double move. He's looking. Give it to me. Give it to me. Linebacker comes up, bites. Great execution by Duhart and Lucas with that communication for the big play.
Alabama State's kicker Alex Lothan has missed both attempts today. Second down, they throw the fade back to Bell, and this time it counts. 15 yards, touchdown Alabama State. There's a flag down in the end zone after the play.
That'll be a taunting penalty there on Demario Bell, but you see the difference.
Touchdown counts. After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. Number 10, 15-yard pillar been forced on the kick.
And you see the difference in the quarterback throw. Put the ball up with air underneath it, knowing there's one-on-one coverage. You allow your wide receiver to go up and make a play and help you. On the other side of the ball, Alabama A&M, they're throwing the ball out of bounds. Receivers can't make plays.
Lothan's extra point is good. Demario Bell, or Reggie Barlow says, has a chance to be the best wide receiver ever to play at Alabama State. Has the score after this kickoff return for a touchdown was called back because of what they said was a block in the back penalty. And then Alabama State able to take advantage. Bell really with his second touchdown on the drive. First one wiped off because of a holding. This one counts, his second of the season. Had a long one against Alabama A&M here last year. This one from 15 for the Wetumpka, Alabama native. Only a sophomore.
And he's going to be a good one. He's got a nice frame. 6'3", 180 pounds, good hands. and he's got the playmaking ability that you want. You see why Coach Barlow speaks so highly of him, the ability to be an athlete when required upon, and he runs good routes. They've got high expectations for DeMario Bell, and he did not disappoint on the touchdown reception.
Moved from the slot to the outside midway through last year. It's made the difference for him, using his speed and using him in jump ball opportunities one-on-one with a corner like that. So there's that dreaded two-score deficit for Alabama A&M. Team that averages only 13 points a game. Here's Terrence Pride with some room. And Pride gets cut down. The ball came out. They'll mark him down, though, at the 39. So Alabama A&M will have one play, down 14-0.
Looked like Pride was in for a big return, but there the ground clearly caused the fumble.
Good hit from Merrill's Gilbert.
So what do you think? Alabama A&M throw it up, go for it?
Why not? It's probably not going to be in bounds. Got the wave going. Instead, they hand it off. Brandon Eldemeyer bounce into the edge and cutting it back to the middle. Good solid run for him. Best play of the day for Alabama A&M. 33 yards. Nearly doubles their first half production on offense. Alabama State wasn't pretty, but a couple of touchdowns and a two-score lead as we go to halftime in the 72nd Magic City Classic.
Every inch.
You're watching ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. Alabama State in front 14-0 at halftime as we move out of the third quarter. And now time for Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's.
In the booth at 5 o'clock.
72nd Magic City Classic here in downtown Birmingham, Alabama. Anthony Jones is with Jay Walker.
All right, Coach, you're down 14-0. What do you have to do to get your team back into the game?
Got to make some plays. We had some opportunities in the first half. We let them slip away. Some penalties, some mistakes. And that's the difference in the ball game right now.
Talk about the play of your quarterback. Right now, quarterback doesn't seem like he's having a good one. Will you think about making a change in the second half?
We're going to do whatever is necessary to try to win this football game.
Does that include changing the quarterback?
Absolutely. If it's necessary, yes, sir.
When you went there, what'd you tell the team in the locker room?
What I just told you. You know, it's time to man up. You know, in order for us to win the ball game, we got to make plays. And that's it. We got to coach them. We got to make plays. And now the guys going to get some opportunities. We'll see what happens in the second half.
Good luck in the second half. Joe, back to you.
All right. It's Anthony Jones, who's in his 12th season. He's 8-3 in Magic City Classic games, but has lost 2 of the last 3. And his team at 2-5 right now. Not necessarily a must-win game, but a game that they'd love to win. Let's toss it back down to the field. Jay Walker is with a special guest.
All right, you never know what you're going to get here at the Magic City Classic. And joining me now, I'm going to say it, arguably the greatest rapper from the West Coast ever, the one, the only Ice Cube. Yay, yay.
How you doing, man? You know, it's an honor to be here, to be the ambassador to the Magic City Classic, man. The city, the people have been just tremendous to us, man, and wonderful. So we having a ball out here.
You know, you and I, we talked a little bit before we got on camera. We both West Coast guys. They don't know about stuff like this on the West Coast. What have you learned about a classic?
Oh, man, that it's love. You know, you got these, black historical colleges, you know what I'm saying, that's been playing this classic game for 72 years. And it's just incredible. You know, I wish we had something like this on the West Coast.
And I know you got so much going on, but what are some of the things you're working on right now?
Right now, I'm shooting a movie in New Orleans. We're shooting a sequel to 21 Jump Street. I got a movie coming out January 17th with Kevin Hart called Ride Along. And we're putting together the NWA movie, so we moving.
Now, I'm not supposed to do this. I'm trying to be professional here. But, man, hey, I'm a fan, man. Q, can you dap me up, man? What up, Q? What up, homeboy? Hey, yay! That's real, man. Thanks so much. Joe, back to you up in the booth. I don't know if I'm coming back, man, because as long as Q let me kick it, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick it, homie.
All right, homie. There's Terrence Pride spinning out of a tackle and getting close to the 20-yard line. So Alabama A&M, which had 87 yards on 31 plays during the first half, goes back to work. And do they make an immediate change at quarterback? Brandon Wells really struggled during that first half. And so it'll be Jamison Lee, the junior out of Honolulu, Hawaii. The JUCO transfer, more traditional thrower out of the two guys. And so, Jay, Coach Jones meant it when he said they'd make any change they needed to.
And I tried to press him hard about was he going to make the quarterback change, and I think he was trying to play the poker face with me, but you kind of had a feeling on the sideline when the players came around the backup quarterback and started hitting him on the shoulder pads, encouraging him that they were going to make this move.
Yeah, and a pass play on first down. He gets pulled down by his face mask by Edward Mosley, and that's likely going to be 15. And the 13th Alabama State penalty. That didn't take long.
Personal foul, face mask, 99, defense, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
13 penalties, 120 yards on Alabama State. Now, Alabama A&M, really neither quarterback has been good. The difference hasn't been between the two guys. It's been in the wins versus the losses. Now look, in the 2 wins, those numbers still are not good, but they're drastically better than in the 5 losses for the Bulldogs. From the 33, here's Barrington Scott, tackled by Courtney Berry, got 3. And it'll be second down.
And Joe, you talk about the numbers from the quarterbacks, but when you talk to the coaches, they say when they go with Jamison Lee, he's got a much stronger arm. He's a little bit stronger in the pocket. So realizing that, if that's why they're making the change, you've got to think they want to start utilizing the passing game, putting the ball in the air a little bit more, realizing it's been very tough to run against this Hornet defense.
Yeah, down 2 touchdowns. So we move into this second half. They only average 13 points a game. Need more than that to come from behind. Here comes pressure. Lee on time and on target, but dropped by Smith. That might have been a little bit low. 3rd and 7.
That's low, but you know, I'm down here field level. You make that catch. I mean, he was going down to the ground. You make that catch there, and we've seen Monterius Smith, you know, drop a couple. That's the second pass we've seen him drop today. In this type of game, we say it again, when your offense is struggling, you need somebody to step up and be a playmaker, and that person for Alabama A&M this season has been Monterius Smith, just not so far in this game.
Got it right here in Birmingham at Jackson Olin High School. 3rd down and 7 for Alabama A&M on the opening drive of this second half. Alabama State brings 5. It's a screen. It's Ross fumbling the football, and Alabama State's got it. So DeMario Ross coughs it up, and Courtney Berry recovers it.
I mean, this is just one here where trying to get that extra yard after good defense by the Hornets, and the ball clearly comes loose for a fumble. And I'll tell you, I'm on this Alabama A&M sideline, and when that ball came out, I saw at least 5 Bulldog players just drop their helmet, giving a look like we just can't get anything going.
21st turnover of the season for Alabama A&M. Came into the game 7th most nationally. So Alabama State takes over at the 36, and Daniel Duhar with a deep drop throws into a tight window, incomplete, behind Earl Lucas. The coverage coming from Lawrence Barnett. It's 2nd and 10.
And one of the things that I've always admired from afar is Bronski Town's defensive scheme. And you can see how it confuses quarterbacks why they make so many throws where they're not certain. When you sit here and look at their defense from behind the line of scrimmage, when you've got guys lined up that shallow, that close to you, you almost have to count where they're lining up and their yards compared to what coverage they're giving you.
Lucas couldn't hang on. 3rd and 10. Daniel Duhart's numbers not great in this game. 10 of 21, so below 50% for him, but $174 and 2 touchdowns. Alabama State trying to take advantage of the takeaway on Alabama A&M's first possession of the half. With an empty set, a 3-man rush is picked up, so Duhart time to find a first down with Marcus Gamble. On 3rd and 10, they get 15 to keep the drive alive.
That's just a great job by Duhart, buying a little bit of time, getting outside the pocket, really extended the play, but he stayed nice, relaxed, and poised and didn't rush it.
Tried to dump that one off for Lucas, but batted down at the line of scrimmage. Anthony Lanier, Reginald Bailey both there. And 2nd down and 10. So Duhart, who's playing for the first time in 3 weeks. They're coming off a bye, and he missed their last game with a back injury. Numbers not pretty, but Alabama A&M's offense has done nothing. So what Duhart has done has been plenty. Here's Isaiah Crowell looking for a cutback lane, instead pushed out of bounds by A.J. Clark.
And this is what I want to see right now. This is where you earn it. I want to get an opportunity to see Isaiah Crowell at field level. We talk about the speed and the burst that he has. When he got that ball right there, you could tell there was no chance that a defensive end was going to be able to make that tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd down and more like 8 here. Alabama State's first drive. Wanted to go to the shovel pass, but it wasn't there. And Duhart gets thrown down by Reginald Bailey. They throw him down back at the 27-yard line, so it'd be a 43-yarder from here.
Nowhere to go. They sniffed out that play there.
They're going to try a field goal here. No success during the first half for Alex Lothan, who's 0 for 2 and is now 2 for 5 in his collegiate career. His long is from 33. This one would be 44. No good. So Alabama A&M turns it over to begin the second half, but Alabama State can't capitalize, and Reggie Barlow's team maintains a 14-0 lead early on in this 3rd quarter in Birmingham.
Let's do this carpet. Yeah.
The Vulcan statue is the largest cast iron statue in the world. City symbol of Birmingham, Alabama. 56 feet tall, depicting the Roman god Vulcan. It was created as Birmingham's entry for the Louisiana Purchase Exposition back in the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis. The 7th tallest freestanding statue in the United States. Off into the distance, a few miles up in the hills on the edge of town. You're in the largest city in Alabama, which accounts for more than a quarter of the state's total population. Play action to begin this drive, and Jamison Lee sails the throw over the head of the tight end, Toriano Upshaw, and it's 2nd down. So Coach Jones going with Jamison Lee. He didn't know going into this weekend who the guy would be. He was wanting somebody desperately to take hold of that spot between Wells and Lee, but neither one of them doing what it took leadership-wise or with their play on the field to earn it.
Hey, 42's in the game, the fullback, the big guy. I always say, watch the fullback when he's in the game. If they're going to run it, due to see a collision.
And it is Nelson leading the way to the outside, and Barrington Scott turning the corner with Courtney Berry pushing him out. Good call, Jay. Got about 8, 3rd and short.
But I'll tell you this, they've got Nelson listed at 5'8", 224 pounds. Not even close.
Bigger?
Down here, Phil. Oh, no, he's smaller, Joe. Oh, he's big boy. He's big boy. He's a load and quick feet, too, as well. He looks like he weighs probably close to 250, 260 pounds, but with the ability to get to the outside, he's one of those guys that if you can just follow him, he's going to move the pile and lean forward for extra yards.
Now, don't get sassy with me. You got a little better view than I do right now down there.
I'm showing off.
3rd and 2. Scott trying to fall forward and does, but will he have enough for the first down? He did the 37, and he did get enough. There is Washington making the stop. All right, Jay is down on the 15-yard line to the left of your screen.
I feel like I'm back in the pocket. I'm reading coverage. You see, right now, if I'm breaking the huddle, I see press man-to-man coverage on number 4, Monterius Smith. The DB's looking at me. I know I got man coverage. Try and get him the football.
Lee rolls out, has Upshaw as tight end for a first down. Upshaw with a cut into Alabama State territory, 17 yards, and Lee looks good on that bootleg. Najee Bright with a stop. And a good job by Lee to get the shoulders turned in rhythm.
The little keys that you can learn from a defense. I mean, first thing I'll never forget, Dennis Green told me, as my head coach for the Vikings, when you break the huddle, you have to know where the safeties are. They'll tell you where the ball, where the coverage is, and then you figure out your matchup that you want.
Back to Scott, who gets 7, 2nd and 3. Leland Baker makes the tackle.
In college football today, we talk about being a good quarterback. It's not just how you throw the football, but it's also managing the run game. And on that last play, Brian Nelson, the fullback, got in the face of Lee and said, that was the wrong call. You were supposed to check us out of it.
Scott bouncing outside, but the defense closing, sticks the shoulder down and is close to a first down. So Jay's been spending a while down in the field now through halftime and started this 3rd quarter. First half wasn't pretty, but has it dampened the atmosphere down there at all? What's it like?
Well, I would say give the Bulldogs credit. After the fumble, I thought that they were just going to give it up and there was going to be a runaway, but I think they got inspired after the missed field goal and the defense was able to keep Alabama State off the board. That's been the story of the game. Alabama State should be running away with this game, but the penalties and not eliminating hope from Alabama A&M has kept them in this football game thus far.
Trying to run it against a loaded box, and Brandon Eldemeyer gets shut down. It's Roderick Henderson with a stop, along with Chris Terry. Loss 4 to be 2nd down and 14. Alabama A&M, one of the more inexperienced teams in FCS, trying to pull a big upset here. Trying to come from behind to do it. And keep it on the ground with 2nd and long and nothing doing. Eldemeyer shot down at the line of scrimmage by Leland Baker. Eldemeyer, redshirt sophomore out of Miami, the more big play threat out of the two between he and Scott. Of course, Kadarius Lacey moving on. He was a star running back here for years. And Scott and Eldemeyer filling those shoes, combining to fill them. 3rd down and 13 for Alabama A&M. And got a shot at a free play. But a flag comes in late and then they blow it dead. Chris Terry had jumped off. But if they blow it dead, that likely means it's on the offense.
Offsides. No. Defense. 58. 5 yards. Replay. 3rd down.
So there was contact from Chris Terry on the offensive tackle. And the 14th penalty of this game on Reggie Barlow's team.
And how many of those have we seen? The offside. You know, when you're on defense, look at the football. You're taught, don't listen to the quarterback's voice. Look at the football, then get your jump. They've been so anxious to get to the quarterback. I mean, they've really hurt themselves. I know, regardless of what happens, Coach Barlow has got to be concerned about the number of penalties from the Hornets.
They twist up front. It's picked up, giving Lee time to chuck one down the sideline and out of bounds. Nick Martin covering Demario Ross, and it's 4th down. What do you do here, Jay?
You know, you would say, I think if you're down this territory, you got to try and pin them. You know, you've got to try and maybe give your defense an opportunity to put a score on the board. You know, if you can get them pinned inside the 5-yard line, that allows you the opportunity to be more aggressive on your defense to try to create a turnover, get the ball back, and make it a battle of field position. So I think they're making the right call here with the punt. They just have to execute on special teams and get this ball down inside the 10-yard line.
And an awful punt, spiraling out of bounds. And Alabama State will take control of the football at its own 20-yard line with a 14-0 lead on an 8-yard punt. Got a special guest joining us when we come back.
This is the Quicksilver Cashback card from Capital One. It's not the juggle a bunch of rotating categories card. It's not the sign up for rewards each quarter card. It's the no games, no messing around, no earning limit having, do I look like I'm joking, turbo boosting heavyweight champion of the world cashback card. This is the Quicksilver Cashback card from Capital One. Unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere, every damn day. Now tell me, what's in your wallet?
Imagine if you could predict an accident before it happened. Introducing the world's
ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. And by Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind. Jay Walker's back in the booth now as the Honeybees do their thing down in the field, and we're joined by Morris Day, who's at his first Magic City Classic. How's it treating you? You enjoying yourself?
Oh, it's treating me well, man. This is lovely. It's lovely to be here. It's all good.
Morris, now when you're on stage, you don't let anybody come and outdress you, showing you up. I'm here in my booth. This is my house.
Yes.
And you come in here looking this flying dapper.
But I'm not sure I'm outdressing you. You got a more corporate look to you. Yeah. And I got the pimpish look to me.
What's this look?
That's corporate. You're good. Okay. We good. You know.
That's corporate. I call them, that's straight lace right there. That's straight down the middle.
That is pretty straight lace there, too, though. You could sell some insurance in that.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah, but he hit him hard with the tie, though. He hit him hard with the tie.
Malcolm Cyrus running for 13 on first down.
Now, we know, obviously, you know, you're down here, Magic City Classic. What brings you down here, and what can we expect?
Oh, well, you know what brought me down here? After this game is done, we're going to go down there, and we're going to rip it up and show folks in Birmingham how it's done, how to do the bird, how to wear a pimp suit, and how to rip up the house.
Yeah,
yes.
I respect this, though. I respect the headset back here, keeping the hair fresh.
Oh, yeah, no, we can't mess the hair up before the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, it don't bounce back. It kind of stays in place. If you mess it up, it's going to stay messed up.
Right. I feel you.
I'm assuming we're going to get a little chili sauce. You know, we're going to do a little chili sauce today, a little Oreo and the bird.
Definitely. We're going to definitely hit them with the sauce. It's all good. Yes.
If you had to teach Joe a little something, how to get him in on the swag, he's got the purple on, so he must have did his footnotes a little bit there. But what would you teach Joe to loosen him up so it can be ready for a Morris Day show?
Well, you know what? All lessons happen during the show. So as long as Joe is here, he's going to learn all the swag he needs to know about Morris Day and what the time does.
Okay, and I've got here a notebook ready to take notes. So I'm going to be watching. I'm going to get all swagged out.
And I'm going to be watching to make sure you're taking notes.
You're going to be looking up here?
At key points in the show to make sure you got it, Joe.
And we'll have a quiz afterwards.
There you go.
I got it all.
There you go. Only 10 questions, though.
Okay. There's Duhart rolling and chucking it deep. Marcus Gamble gets pulled down. No flag, and it'll be third down.
Well, you a football fan, Morris?
Today I am, yes.
I figure because you spent so many years in the Twin Cities, you know, that you probably like the Vikings a little
you know
bit.
The Vikings ain't doing too well right now, so we don't want to talk about that, you know. But they will overcome, you know, they will get a quarterback that is worthy. I mean, or maybe the quarterback that they have just needs to be briefed a little better, you know.
Your Gophers, though, Minnesota Gophers got a big win today in Nebraska.
Yes. Yeah, I think the Gophers could beat the Vikings right now.
Can hang our hat on that, then. Duhart dancing under pressure momentarily and then drop. Brought down by Corey Johnson, and it'll be fourth down.
I would say this. Can you imagine? I know you're an entertainer and everything. You know, you perform in front of those arenas when they're packed and sold out. But you imagine playing football in front of 65,000 people.
Amazing.
That's amazing. That's a rush.
It's incredible. I would imagine it makes it a little harder for you to be on top of your game with all these people watching.
Those are the distractions. You
might add a little pressure.
Add a little pressure for a good show. It's like if you're performing in front of Barack Obama or the president, somebody of that nature.
You know what I'm saying.
You don't want to miss a beat.
You don't want to miss a beat at all.
And what did James Brown should do? That'll cost you 5.
Right.
All right, 52-yard punt. Alabama A&M will take over. Morris Day, we appreciate the time. I'll be looking forward to learning all about swag.
I'll be checking to make sure you took your notes later on, Joe.
Don't worry.
Appreciate you, my man.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Stopping
all right, Jay.
Chili sauce.
My brother. All right, now. Thank you so much.
EdCom. Anthony Jones making a change at quarterback coming out of the break. Jamison Lee in for Brandon Wells. Took him down the field on his first drive, but that drive stalled. Once again, though, the defense coming up with a stop, and they've kept the Bulldogs in this game.
Been the story of Alabama A&M all season. You could say for decades. The defense carries the team. The scary thought is always, if Alabama A&M ever gets an offense to go along with this outstanding defense, how many championships can they win? Schematically, they're fundamentally sound, and they give you a chance to win year in and year out.
From the 15. Play action on first down. Lee sailing one, incomplete. We'll say this, though. There's some more rhythm with Jamison Lee dropping back than we saw with Brandon Wells.
And that happens when you have quarterbacks that aren't as mobile. The wide receivers know, run your route, then turn around, look for the football. If you've got a more athletic, mobile quarterback, you don't know how much he scrambled or moved out of the pocket to complete the pass, so they have trouble picking it up. And I know I've had a number of receivers I played with during my career that said, hey, we know if we run a route, the ball's going to be there. When you get a running quarterback in there, it changes. So you can tell they're running the routes a little bit more crisp now.
Barrington Scott with a nice cut back into space. Scott with 6 to set up third down and 4. With Wells and Lee combined, they're 5 for 19 today.
In the Classic. I mean, this is the game, biggest game on Alabama A&M's schedule. Alabama State, too. They both coaches acknowledge that. I mean, this game is magnified in terms of what a win does for your program and what a loss does. And for years, we've seen stars made in this football game, just nobody for Alabama A&M stepping up.
Alabama State showing pressure, flag down. Could it be on Alabama A&M? I believe it is.
False start. Offense. 74, 5 yards. Replay. Third down.
Only the 5th penalty on the Bulldogs today. Versus 14 on Alabama State. Alabama State brings 4 on third down. The slant complete. First down, Monterius Smith. Nice throw from Lee in rhythm to move the chains on third down.
And that's a good job. Just a double slant combination. Get rid of the ball quickly. 1, 2, 3. Find the seam. Good catch and good route by Monterius Smith,
who's struggled so far.
Yeah, he's had some drops, but that's one of those throws you need him to make.
Here's Scott. Nice initial hold to get 5 yards. And then Leland Baker with a tackle, 2nd and 5.
And they're down 14-0 in this football game and clearly haven't done anything offensively. Can you imagine if they score and just make it a 1-score game? But right now the feeling in this stadium and what I feel is as long as it's 2 scores, Alabama A&M has no chance because there's no guarantee they can score twice, even if you give them a big play and spot them for 90 yards.
That's why that kick return, that punt return callback was so big. 6 come, but it's picked up, so room to throw, but right through the hands of Smith on that double slant combination again. 3rd and 5. that. They ponder with the coverage. There's openings there for Lee with all the pressure that Kevin Ramsey likes to bring. Can he find them?
And ironic, Alabama State hasn't brought much pressure tonight. I mean, they are blitz happy. You give defensive coordinator Kevin Ramsey any opportunity to blitz you, he will do it. But the front four has been able to get the job done. He hasn't had to dial up many of his blitz packages today.
7 drop here. There's a throw incomplete. Had an out route for a first down if he wanted it, but instead got a little bit greedy, and it's 4th down.
And that's a good look there at Ramsey and the job he's able to do. And I mean, this is a simple combination route right here. You can have one guy come right here, one guy come right here. This is a clear out. Now tell me, out of these 2 quick out routes, who comes open? One. They're both open ahead of the first down. I mean, the ball was not designed to go downfield. When it's 3rd and 5, you read it bottom up. Take the short throw, get the first down.
Here's a fake. And Alabama A&M's going to get a first down with Rashad Anderson across midfield. So the guy that is the backup corner, in addition to being the punter, runs for 21 yards to extend the drive.
And this is a great call. I mean, you don't have anything that's working for you, so why not put the ball in the athlete's hand, see if he can make something happen. Makes this cut right there before the 40-yard line to ensure he would get the first down. I like the call by Alabama A&M head coach Anthony Jones, realizing the offense needed a spark and couldn't afford to give the ball back to Alabama State.
He rolls, sets the feet, lofts it downfield into coverage, but pulled away. First down and goal, Alabama A&M. Jonathan Dorsey, the backup tight end, with a reception of 43 yards.
And when I was down on the field, I said, who is that giraffe playing tight end? Jonathan Dorsey at 6 feet 6 inches tall, all of it, goes up, gets the ball at his highest point, and just wrestles the ball away from the Alabama State defender. That's great concentration, and then has the ability to pull the ball even further away. Alabama A&M got the big play they desperately needed.
And Barrington Scott spinning to the goal line, stand on his feet and reach him inside the 1. 2nd down and goal now. Alabama A&M has to get a touchdown out of this. You continue to try and batter it up the middle.
When you've got a team with quarterback issues, you say we have to force the run in the middle. We've got to smash the ball in there.
But you've also got a top 10 run defense.
Something got to give. You can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win the game.
Okay.
We've got 3 downs at it.
Longest drive of the game for A&M. 10th play coming up here. A fumbled snap. Alabama State has the football. Recovered by Derek Billups.
One of the down things you have to worry about when you bring in a backup quarterback and you get him under center, quarterback center exchange. It looked like the ball came up, just might have dropped out of Lee's hands. I say when you've only got 2 wins on the season, there's a reason why things like that happen.
Reggie Barlow with some rare emotion. Normally a pretty even-keeled guy. How about these numbers? 5 losses this year, 19 turnovers. Just 1 turnover in the 2 wins as Alabama State barely gets it out of the end zone with Cyrus. And it'll be 2nd down, still backed into their own end. Duhart out of the gun on 2nd down. The fullback Gilzine, who is 5'11", 265, gets another 2 yards and makes it 3rd down. Well, Alabama State could really use a first down here. Alabama A&M, on the other hand, could maintain the field position despite the turnovers, still be right there with a chance to cut it to 1 score if they can hold out a 3 and out here.
And force them to punt to Terrence Pride, who's got a long punt return already in this football game. So although they lost the points on the board from the fumble on the 1-yard line, if the defense can come up with a big stop right now on 3rd down, offense may have an opportunity to get the ball back in field position.
Alabama State takes a timeout. Minute 5 left in this 3rd quarter. As Reggie Barlow tries to win his 3rd Magic City Classic in the last 4 years. Jay, why don't you give me 5 about the Magic City Classic?
Top things. Ken came up with this. I need your opinion on this. Normally, I don't ask your opinion, Joe, but I need you to help me out and see if you agree with this.
Really flattered.
The bands.
Yeah, they're good.
The halftime show was great, wasn't it? What about number 4, the wobble? They wanted to do the world's largest wobble.
Yeah, I think it wobbles its way out of the top
Number 3, how about some pork? Some ribs, and more ribs.
I'm more of a chicken guy.
Well, see, there you go, Joe. That's always you. Number 2, Ice Cube.
Yeah, he was good.
Ice Cube, and then throwing a little Bootsy behind it too. And then we had Morris Day, so I need to put Ice Cube, Bootsy, Morris Day, all those folks. And number 1, I always say this: the football player in me says it's the game.
Yeah.
It's what happens between the hash marks.
3rd down and 8 here.
Anything you would throw in there on that list, Joe?
Like I said, chicken. Here's a dangerous play. Did he get out of the end zone? Somehow he did. Alabama A&M comes out of the pile with the ball, but they spot Crowell down past the goal line. Somehow got out of the end zone.
Yeah, miscommunication. I think that's on the quarterback. It seemed as if the offensive line on the right side was ready to run a stretch play to the outside. Crowell started his initial step to the outside, and Duhart took the snap and was holding on to the football like it was going to be a smash up the middle.
Now Wenzig to punt out of his own end zone. Line drive kick to Pride. He's got to stop it at least, and does at midfield. So A&M will have good field position at the 45-yard line.
He could have caught that ball at the 45-yard line, run it forward for another 10 yards, and had better field position. But keep going back to the TV show. Numbers never lie. They're not lying. There's a reason why this team has only won 2 football games this year. The little things, little intricacies you have to make and pay attention to detail in order to be a great football team. And for Alabama A&M, for the first time in some years, doesn't seem to have that ability to make those plays.
They do seem to have a little more spark with Jamison Lee in their quarterback, a little more life offensively. A few seconds left in this 3rd quarter, but good starting field position. Start this drive with play action. Lee pressured from behind. And it's an incomplete pass, just able to get rid of it. More pressure coming from Mosley and Jones, and it's 2nd and 10.
And when you talk about a team, you look at their body of work. I think the disappointing thing for Alabama A&M has been they haven't seen much improvement. They've got a number of young guys, but you're talking 6-7 weeks into the football season. You should see marked improvement, but they're starting to see these guys make the same mistakes over and over again, which has to be some concern. I'm assuming with recruiting coming out, they're probably going to have to go out there and recruit some replacements.
Pressure coming on 2nd down. They bring 6. Lee back over the middle, incomplete. Over the head of Demario Ross. And one final play in this 3rd quarter will be 3rd down and 10.
Take a look at this blitz here, and you're going to see the pressure come from the outside. Watch the double move by the blitzer. So often guys are in a rush to get to the quarterback. Watch him set it up with a move. Use the speed and the momentum to the outside to get the hit on the quarterback. That's good use of speed right there to get around the block. And as a quarterback, you hate that when you think somebody's going to block him and you've got it picked up and you don't.
Lee throwing an interception, picked off by Nizie Bright. And Bright takes it all the way back to the 35. Back-to-back possessions with turnovers. to end this third quarter. And with a return of 31 yards for Bright, it shifts the field position right back in Alabama State's favor. A 14-0 lead for the Hornets in search of their 6th straight win as we go to the 4th.
The hard work, the sweat, the pain. It all comes down to this. Who will rise as others fall? Who?
Back on ESPNU, college football primetime presented by McDonald's. 3 turnovers for Alabama A&M, most recently on the Alabama State 1-yard line. Now 23 turnovers this season. They enter the game 7th most in the country in that category. And back-to-back turnovers down the 3rd as Alabama State right back in control despite missing 3 field goals today and despite again Isaiah Crowell not being a big part of the picture. Najee Bright with the most recent takeaway, setting the Hornets up at the 35 to begin the 4th. Out of the pistol, Crowell gets pancaked at the 40.
Seems like a statement now when you got a rival in state and Crowell gets hit like that hard as he's been popped. Probably A&M players saying, well, we played against him, we didn't beat you, but we didn't let Crowell beat us. They can take their hat off. They've done a pretty good job of containing Crowell,
who does not look great getting off of the field. Empty set on 2nd down. All 11 men within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, heaving it off his back foot with pressure. And now 3rd down.
I've noticed this several times that the center snapping the ball prematurely and the quarterback wasn't even looking when the ball was snapped. They're doing a silent count. But take a look. I mean, he's walking forward, so they're not doing the look. And I put that on the left guard. The left guard is giving the center the signal when it's time to snap the ball with a pause. He's not, you know, he's just rushing to it. So there's been some communication issues we've seen them struggle with, and they were fortunate that Duhart was able to see the ball coming.
Pressure picked up, taking a shot for the end zone, and it's Lucas in. Touchdown, Alabama State. Earl Lucas with a 39-yard score. And the Hornets have busted this one open on the first drive of the 4th. Wenzig adds on the extra point. And Alabama State turns the takeaway into points. And a 3-score lead on a team that is only averaging 13 points a game this year.
All right, take a look here. This is what you're going to call just a vertical route combination. He's got the seam here. What they're trying to do is they see the great thing they do is there's nobody in the middle of the field. So that's why he's able to put air on the football. Normally that's a line drive throw, but with no free safety home, able to isolate on the one-on-one matchup. Great throw by Duhart, and I really like the recognition of the coverage, realizing the middle of the field was open, put some air on it, and allow Lucas to run underneath the football. Not been his best day. On the season, he completes 60% of his passes, but below 50% today, and just 1 for 6 in the second half. That was his first completion. But that's to be expected going against a Bronski Towns defense, a team that really likes to confuse you with your looks, blitz the quarterback, put hits on the quarterback. Your completion percentage will go down, but the balls you do complete, you can hit for big gains, as we've seen them come up with several big plays in this football contest. 5th catch of the day for Earl Lucas, 88 yards for him. That one bounces by Pride into the end zone. But the chase for the Sprint Cup. Hitting the home stretch. Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson leading the chase field into Martinsville Speedway with just 4 races left until NASCAR's best driver raises the Sprint Cup. It's Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Martinsville. Hey, wait a minute, Joe. You're not going to mention the huge historic victory today? Darrell Wallace Jr.? No. First African-American to win a Sprint Cup event in probably 40, 50 years. Come on, Joe.
No, where's the race?
Martinsville?
Was it? Probably was if they were at Martinsville tomorrow.
I was guessing, but I was just thinking Martinsville. Yeah, that
sounds
that
right.
time of year where the tour starts to go back up that way.
Ah, right, yeah. Lee hands it off to Scott, or Aldemeyer getting the call on first down and getting 2. Stop made by Roderick Henderson.
And this is when you're just stuck right now. If you're Anthony Jones and Alabama A&M, you need to throw the football, but I'm sure there's absolutely zero confidence in those quarterbacks throwing the football right now. That's why down 21-0 in the fourth quarter, they're running the ball on first down.
Hornets showing blitz and bringing 4. Lee swings it out. Nice catch by Smith with a nice cut to get a first down. Rashada making the tackle after 10. Well, regardless of what you choose to do, run or pass, you know, a little more urgency. Down 3 scores. You can run it, but spend less time between plays running it. Aldemeyer, big hole left side. Aldemeyer stays on his feet, and then Nick Martin just boosts him forward instead of tackling him. And Aldemeyer goes for 31 yards before Rashada brings him down.
It seems like this is complacency on the Alabama State defense. They got up by 3 touchdowns and not really attacking the football. And Alabama A&M to take advantage of it, but now they've crossed midfield. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Kevin Ramsey dial up one of his blitz packages trying to take the complacency out of the Hornet defense right now.
Bringing edge pressure on first down. Lee in trouble. Got rid of it. Ontario Smith tackled by Bright, but a first down and a gain of 23.
They brought the pressure. You had that feeling they were complacent, but they didn't get to the quarterback in time. Linebackers coming from the outside, got the ball to Smith in the open field, able to make the catch for the first down. Take a look at Coach Jones and 12 seasons at Alabama A&M, 600 win percent. A lot of places people put statues up for you with that type of winning percentage.
Edge pressure again. Aldemeyer gets cracked by Courtney Berry, and it's second down. Courtney Berry, redshirt freshman out of Merrillville, Indiana, leading tackler, and as only a freshman has already turned into the quarterback of this defense, a kid that Kevin Ramsey says just loves football.
Yeah, replacing Bill Ross, who was a 4-year starter at Alabama State. Very similar to how they play. Courtney Berry, they said they knew it would be good, but didn't think he'd be this good. He's exceeded their expectations as a freshman.
Aldemeyer slips through a small hole and gets a few.
Now you see Brandon Wells in there because of the completion to Monterius Smith, the big play. Jamison Lee took a shot.
Low snap picked up. Wells steps into a slant for Smith. And Alabama A&M finds the end zone. 13 yards for Smith's second score of the season.
That's a great play call by Anthony Jones. Everybody's dropping to the end zone when you get close. He just had Monterius Smith run the underneath route, wide open to make the throw and the catch and let him run into the end zone.
Back to 2 scores, but you can't help but think about the punt return for a touchdown called back and the fumble on the 1-yard line.
Makes it a different football game.
Extra point from Cesar Ramon is good. Alabama A&M not done yet. Back into the game as Wells. Throwing the slant for Smith, who's got 3 catches and 46 yards on that drive.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Back in Birmingham at the Magic City Classic. They've been playing it here since 1940. It's actually 21-7. Alabama State in front of Alabama A&M. 4 minutes into this fourth quarter. Jay Walker, Joe Davis. Alabama A&M not finished yet. Getting into the end zone with Monterius Smith catching the pass from Brandon Wells. Here's Miles Everett, only his second return of the day. He'll get it back shy of the 30s. We take a look at some news and notes from around HBCU football. Of course, an awful situation at Grambling and everything that's gone on there, but the players agreeing to finish the season. Bethune-Cookman number 14 in the FCS poll, and a big win today against South Carolina State. And then not too far from here in the Miles Stillman game, 4 females on the officiating crew on Thursday in a D2 game.
Wow. Historic stuff going on there today. I'm glad those players are back on the field. Anybody that's a fan of football, you want players back on the field. I think there'll be some changes made down there at Grambling, and hopefully because of what happened there, Grambling will become a better place in order to play football.
They start this drive with Crowell getting thrown down by Reginald Bailey. Lost a couple of yards, 2nd and 12. We asked Reggie Barlow about his thoughts on the Grambling situation, and he said he sees it from both sides. He said, you know what, those kids shouldn't have to make bus rides like that, 18 hours playing Division I football.
I agree, but that's not one that you stop playing for.
Right.
You know, there's, like, I'll take Alabama A&M for example. Every year they travel.
Oh, what a diving catch from Bell! Demario Bell sprawls out for a long completion of 33 yards.
He's got game-breaking ability and talent. What a fantastic job. Leaving your feet to make the catch for the grab. That's a good one. I wouldn't be surprised you saw a challenge here. He might bobble that a little bit.
Malcolm Cyrus.
I thought I saw movement.
Into the arms of Tremaine Shepard.
See, if you challenge, the rule is if you leave your feet, you must show the ball right away. So he's there. See, I think the ball's moving there. He's trying to hold on to it. You know, he should have come up and showed the football, but that's just one man's opinion.
Cyrus gets pulled down by Kennard Johnson, setting up a 3rd down. Mario Bell, who was quiet early in this game, but then got a touchdown catch to close the first half. And this diving catch of 33 here. On 3rd and 4, Duhart is pressure with flags down and drilled back at midfield. But flags all over the place as Johnson and Lanier got to him. And if that's offsides on Alabama A&M, it'll be a 1st down.
Offsides. Defense. 63. 5 yards. Replay. 3rd down.
Can you believe that we're early in the 4th quarter and it's starting to get dark out here?
Yeah, it's been, well, when you have referees that are playing football down there too. I mean, the number of flags that they've got that have been thrown. What a catch that was by Demario Bell.
Jeez.
Look at this, you see Alabama A&M giving you the look like we're going to bring pressure. Look at all those bodies up on the line of scrimmage.
Duhart down the middle. Robinson couldn't hang on.
That's the same look you had before. When the middle of the field is open, you don't have to throw that line drive throw. He put some zip on it. The throw wasn't as accurate. It's a great job by Robinson getting by his defender. There's nobody deep in the middle. Put some air on it. Let them outrun the coverage. That would have been a touchdown.
2nd and 10 now. Neither one of these teams have the kicker they're confident in. Keep that in mind as the Hornets work here.
Bringing pressure again. It's a matter of will they be able to get to the quarterback.
Man-to-man across the board. Duhart steps out of pressure and takes off. First down, Alabama State. Ran for 13 yards, just barely beating that pressure from the Bulldogs.
And if you're going to bring pressure up the middle, you've got to get to the quarterback. He makes a miss. There's nobody down the field here. Plenty of running room. Easy first down for Daniel Duhart once he made the initial blitzing linebacker miss.
And then Jeremy Isabel brought him down. Alabama State trying to respond as they go to the Wildcat here. Crowell ready to take the snap. Crowell off the left side for a pickup of 4 on first down.
Man, this is cheating right here. You've got Isaiah Crowell playing the Wildcat quarterback. You've got Malcolm Cyrus as the lead running back. Whew. It's almost saying you to pick your own poison.
Crowell trying to bounce. Good job by Tremaine Shepard to stay with him, and it's 3rd down. And this is the thing that Crowell has got to shake. It's a reputation that he's gotten that he can't keep his mouth shut. And that's not going to help him once it's time to get drafted.
Yeah, because when the scouts are analyzing you, they're looking at everything. I mean, they're watching every piece of video on you they can get their hands on, your tendencies in the classroom, your work habits.
And he gets hit and dropped by Lanier short of the first down. Lost a yard, so 4th down and 4 for Alabama State.
And I think what teams have noticed is when he's in the game and you make a tackle, say something to him. Yeah. You're going to get a reaction.
Right.
I mean, they've seen that from his very first year at Alabama State to year 2. Still doing that, so you're seeing the other team starting to instigate Crowell, and he takes the bait every time.
Bobby Wenzig will come in to attempt a field goal from straight away. So Wenzig on after Lothan goes 0 for 3 today. This from 27. And Wenzig pokes it through to give Alabama State a 3-score lead. So the Hornets with some breathing room. They got to feel good against an offense that hasn't been able to do much today.
College Football Daily, weekdays at 1 on ESPNU.
We're just looking, right?
Of course.
This is the Leo Diamond.
Wow.
It's the first diamond ever independently certified to be visibly brighter.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Back here in Birmingham at the Magic City Classic, 72nd edition. It's been a long day with 19 penalties and the sun setting in a game that started about 3.5 hours ago now. Alabama State trying to win its 6th in a row after dropping the first 2 contests, and Alabama A&M in danger of falling to 2-6. Bobby Wenzig to send it away. Monterius Smith from a couple of yards deep stumbles and narrowly stays in the end zone. So it's a touchback, and the drive will start at the 25-yard line. Now look around FCS around the country. Shakir Bell, the one who was a runner-up for the Peyton Award a couple of seasons ago, out for the year with a foot injury. Still 3 unbeatens. Of course, North Dakota State, that program people refer to as the FCS Alabama. And then because of the game 2 weeks ago at Southern with a poor clock management at the end of regulation between A&M and Southern, the SWAC has suspended that officiating crew for 1 week.
That's tough for Shakir Bell, and had a fantastic year last year. I think this year you talk about Peyton Award. I'm liking Terrence West from Towson. He's had a fantastic season running the football for Coach Rob Ambrose and his program.
Jamison Lee back in the game, hands off to Barrington Scott.
You know what happened in that game? But the when the officials got suspended for the Southern Alabama A&M game. So Alabama A&M was driving down for a game-time field goal. They called timeout. Officials said they didn't have any more. Game was over. Teams went to the locker room. Coaches shook hands, congratulated each other on the game. Then they had to go out and get the Alabama A&M team and the Southern team out for a field goal try. Kick a field goal, goes to overtime, and Southern ends up winning the game.
Lee under pressure, steps away from Carlton Jones, flings one incomplete, looking for Montarius Smith.
Can you imagine going into a locker room thinking that you've won the game?
Going back out, having a game-tying field goal and then losing an OT?
Yeah.
Jamison Lee came in to start the second half. His numbers not much better than Brandon Wells. Has given him somewhat of a spark and helped move the offense down the field, but the turnover's the issue today. On 3rd and 9 against a four-man rush. Flag comes out for holding as Lee heaves one to midfield. And caught by Gialonzo Milton, but it's coming back. Carlton Jones had beaten his man.
Brought down by Nicholas Martin for the Hornets.
10 yards, replay, 3rd down.
Speaking of SWAC officials, this crew clearly doesn't care about the band playing through the play. I don't think they've stopped in the second half.
That's a classic, Joe. Everybody had a good time. The band's not bothering anybody. Not a lot of crowd noise right now.
Rule's a rule, though.
Who's checking?
Third and 19. The twist getting to Lee. And Lee gets sacked. Justin Mitchell with his 3rd sack of the season. All the way back inside the 5-yard line. Or to be 4th down and 31.
Yeah, that was Mitchell, but you should really look at Carlton Jones. Look at the effort that he does right on the quarterback. Splits through the double team. They move Jones over to the left side to play that left defensive end, and he's just having his way with Allen Cruz. On the previous play, there was a hold called on Cruz trying to block Jones, and Jones again with the penetration, forcing Lee to go down for the sack.
Anderson punts out of his own end zone, keeps it away from Miles Everett. 5.5 to go, and a punt of 28 yards. Hornets will have it at the 32. ESPNU's coverage of women's college soccer continues Sunday with a matchup out of the SEC. The Aggies face off against Savannah, Georgia, Jordan, and the Gators. ESPNU's women's college soccer, Texas A&M and Florida. 3 o'clock on Sunday on ESPNU and on Watch ESPN. Daniel Duhart wondering where his right tackle is. His right guard, Robert Demekery Hickingbottom. Here's Cyrus into the short side with no room. Loses a couple. Right now for Alabama State, a game back of Jackson State in the East Division standings. It's looking like deja vu from last year. Losing to Jackson State, if it stands how it is now, would keep them out of the SWAC championship game.
It will, and they're fully aware of that. I mean, they said we could realistically go 9-2, 8-3, and be at home, which is a successful campaign. One more loss maybe when they play Kentucky a week from now, but and it's got to be frustrating because the 2 games that they've lost this year, they were winning in those games. They had the lead, and particularly against Jackson State on the road, up by 14 early, and couldn't hold on.
Duhart finds an open Bell, who goes up to make a fantastic catch and sets up 1st and goal. 4th catch of the day for Bell. This one goes for 34.
This is a great job by Bell coming back to the quarterback. And the throw's not as accurate, but because Bell's coming back, you'll see him cross the screen. And once he comes across, ball's thrown high, readjusts his body, thrown behind him, makes the catch, and then picks up more yardage once he gets back on the ground.
The fullback, Gilzine, would love to get his first career touchdown. Redshirt junior out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, 265 pounds. He said the other fullback wasn't listed appropriately. You think Gilzine is legitimately 265?
Yes.
And then some, maybe?
Yeah, that's more accurate.
Yeah.
That's more accurate. And you know what's funny? When I watch Alabama State, I see them physically, they meet the eye test. I mean, big, fast, strong, can run, good quarterback, game breakers at the running back and the wide receiver position with the emergence of Mario Bell. Got some good defensive players as well. This is the team, one of the best in black college football. But they're chasing Jackson State, who's week again continues to win football games.
Standings coming into this Saturday. Down a game behind Jackson State, who they lost to in Jackson back in the second week of the season in September.
Now, I will say this. When you talk to the folks from Alabama State, they pointed out something. Nobody's gone undefeated in the Eastern Division in like 15 years. And, you know, Jackson State taking on Prairie View this weekend, Prairie View can score some points. I wouldn't be surprised if that was, you know, I'm not going to say upset, but a very close game.
Yeah. At this point, 31-31 in the third quarter between those two teams. Alabama State knows all about Prairie View's ability to put up points. Played them in their last game a couple of weeks ago. And a game with 1,300 yards of offense. Alabama State won 48-42 in overtime.
Get to know the name Jerry Locklove from Prairie View A&M, their quarterback.
Rodney Cross reaches in for a Magic City touchdown. Two yards for the redshirt sophomore from Georgia.
Just giving it to him. Follow the fullback. Cross is the backup fullback. Follows the starting fullback in Gilzine. And just enough to get into the end zone for the score.
There's an injured Hornet. Looks like Justin Robinson, their starting tight end. Good to see him to his feet. Although needs quite a bit of help to get to the sideline.
Ooh. That'd be critical right there. He's a emotional leader and a very important piece of this puzzle offensively for Alabama State.
Senior out of Grove Hill, Alabama. The staff thinks he's got a shot to maybe play at the next level. 6'3", 245, good hands, pretty good blocker. Extra point from Bobby Wenzig. All Alabama State today at the 72nd Magic City Classic. Time to get that spoon cam ready. Still plenty of food out there, I hear. You gotta hurry up and get out there before it's all gone.
Every McDonald's Premium McWrap is
UCLA tonight.
Wow, first score 5 years in a row. I guess that's a tribute to them. You win the number of football games. Game day has to keep coming back.
Here's a reverse on the kick return going nowhere. Terrence Pride shut down at the 10. Now it's the most thorough college football show on television with in-depth analysis, discussion of the standings, potential impact. Outside looking in on that BCS picture with Alabama and Florida State 1-2. Alabama A&M ready to go to work, down several scores. Lee gets it into the flats for Aldemeyer. How's the Heisman picture shaping up in your eyes?
I think it's quarterbacks. I mean, quarterback. You know, they're all intriguing story, but I mean, obviously Mariota out at Oregon, he's phenomenal. You know, actually, when you study him and watch him more, I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback that uses the dual threat tag as well as he does. You really don't want him running, because if you're a defense, he runs effectively and he kills you with touchdowns and first downs, and he can hurt you with his cannon for a right arm.
Good pull read here from Lee. They'll get a first down across the 25. Who else? How about Jameis Winston?
Famous Jameis.
No.
You know, can you have back-to-back freshmen? I was in all of them, but I just don't know if they're going to have the quality wins that you're going to need, the body of work.
Lee zipping one down the seam for Smith. Pass interference going to get called.
Leaving anybody out of the Heisman conversation, you think?
Johnny Manziel.
Oh, I forgot. He won it last year, didn't he?
Yeah, decent name.
Well, you named him Johnny Football, didn't you?
I'm not sure that I can take credit for that. Although our crew is the first to mention him as a Heisman. Yeah. So I'll take that.
Well, I call him Johnny Heisman now.
Okay.
Pass interference. Defense. 37, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
And I think when you talk about Johnny Manziel for the Heisman, the moment one of those three quarterbacks we just showed has a loss, then Manziel comes right back in the picture and bypasses them right away.
He's playing better than he did last year.
He is, but more scrutiny and more people see him play at this time they did a year ago. I think America didn't pay attention to him really until he beat Alabama last year, and that game was later in the year compared to this year when they played him early on.
He goes underneath to Demario Ross.
How about the debate for A.J. McCarron?
Yeah, nobody talks about him.
He's a guy, invite him up. I'd like to see him get the invitation up to New York just for his body of work. You know, same thing with the Peyton Award on this level football. You don't hear people talk about Brock Jensen. I mean, Brock Jensen's never lost 2 games in a season, ever, and won, you know, on his way to 3 national championships. They can win it this year.
Aldemeyer, good tough running into Alabama State territory. Want to remind you that coming up at the end of our game, it's the Lexus HBCU post-game report with highlights and analysis from today's game, followed by Sports Center U. Well, before the game, you called this not a must-win, but a game that you needed to win if you're Alabama A&M and Anthony Jones. How do you feel about that as this game has progressed?
It's disappointing because I thought they would be more competitive in this game. And when you look at the final score of 31-14 or 31-7, no matter what it is, at times this team just looked bad. I mean, no other way to say it. In the first half, offensively, they almost look like a high school football team out there.
Offsides. Defense. 98. 5 yards. Replay. First down.
But, you know, the flip side of that, you can say, well, they're a young team. They're inexperienced. They will get better. But, you know, I mean, that's the world we live in college football right now. You know, they want points on the board, and the defense played well enough to keep them in the football game in the first half. And I want to give a lot of credit to Alabama State. I mean, they clearly came out here and did not have their A game. I mean, this is probably a C performance for Alabama State, and yet they're going to beat their in-state rival by double digits.
Gialonzo Milton inside the 15. At the same time, if you're Alabama State, you got to clean it up. 16 penalties. That's the most in a game this season in the SWAC.
Yeah, that kept Alabama A&M in the game when they were going to be shut out for most of the game. The penalties caught up to them. Good throw here by Lee, getting the ball to Milton.
Good pull read from Lee. Stopped by Trey Jenkins. You go back to that first quarter, that first half, when Alabama A&M had a long punt return for a touchdown from Terrence Pride, called back because of a debatable block in the back penalty. You'd be the judge right there.
Call that the game-changing moment right there. We've had a tie football game instead. Alabama A&M not able to put points on the board.
Billups got in there. And then he had the fumble on the one. He had an interception to follow that. Could have been a different game.
That was a game changer. I mean, particularly with that punt return. Yeah. That punt return was big. But I think, in the second half, I think Alabama State showed they were the better football team. They started controlling the line of scrimmage a little bit more, running the football better. And they never really were threatened. I mean, never really threatened. And Kevin Ramsey there, he didn't even have to dial up his blitzes. There was no quarterback play from Alabama A&M, and he was able just to sit back and play zone coverage. Talk about the play of the Alabama A&M quarterbacks on the day. With just a ball thrown in the ground. Here, stepping up. Where's that ball going? Nowhere close to the receiver. Overthrown. Just take your pick. Time and time again, we saw balls skipping off the turf and landing out of bounds. Can't win football games when you're not completing passes.
13 of 33 for Coach Jones' quarterbacks today. They're down and 11. Lee picks up the low snap. Drifting and throwing back across his body, incomplete. Off of the hands of DeMarcus Taylor. Reggie Barlow smiles. His fifth-year senior Taylor should have had a pick there.
Congratulations, Coach Barlow. He's done a good job with that program. Talented football team. Very, very talented football team. But will they be able to catch Jackson State to make it to the SWAC championship?
Of course, Alabama State will wrap up its season as Coach Barlow gets the Gatorade bath with the Turkey Day Classic, which will be on ESPNU, believe it or not, on Turkey Day. On fourth down, they needed 11. They threw it 5.
I think that was your most accurate call you've made. Need 11, threw it 5, and it's just been one of those seasons for Alabama A&M.
Reggie Barlow, first 3 seasons at Alabama State, was 12 and 21. Last 3+ seasons, 28 and 14.
So people in the truck are asking, how come the cops never get wet when they douse them? You have an answer?
I don't know. Somebody radios in.
They've got guns.
Oh. And then our handheld operator, Bev, down there, did she avoid the bath too? I think she did.
She avoided it. Are we allowed to tell people she went to Alabama State?
Well, too late now.
And used to be the athletic trainer there and used to tape the ankles of the football team.
Right. Tape Reggie Barlow's ankles back in the early 90s. So Alabama State into the victory formation. Coach Barlow and Alabama State will now have won 3 of the last 4 Magic City Classics after Alabama A&M had dominated for about a dozen-year stretch. And will win their 6th consecutive game after starting the season 0-2. While Alabama A&M will fall to 2-6 and 2-4 in the SWAC. It's a fierce rivalry, but mutual respect. As the clock winds down, and Reggie Barlow's team gets it 6th in a row. So a convincing win for Alabama State after a sloppy start to the game. The defense generates some takeaways in the second half when Alabama A&M started to make it interesting. And the Hornets wind up with a 31-7 victory. So overall, your impressions of the 72nd Magic City Classic?
I think the pageantry and everything surrounding the football game is getting better and better in what they do. I mean, you come to the Magic City Classic, it's obviously more than a football game, but from a football perspective, it was tough in the first half, and I think the players got caught up in all the emotion and the hype and playing in such a front of a large crowd that really got the best of both teams in the first half. But I'm still impressed with Alabama State, though. It's a good football team, Joe.
Welcome to the Lexus HBCU post-game report in Birmingham, Alabama, where Alabama State wins the Magic City Classic. And we say welcome back inside our broadcast booth. Former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, Joe Davis. So Alabama A&M's offense, not good, not pretty, not any way to slice it other than that. But credit to Alabama State's defense, first year under Kevin Ramsey, really coming around.
And I was really impressed that they didn't have to play the game they traditionally play. This is the team that likes to rely on the blitz to get pressure on the quarterback. Instead, they just sat back and played zone coverage, made sound fundamental tackles, and were opportunistic when it presented themselves. Alabama State's defense has really emerged. They were a weakness to start the season. Now it's one of the strengths, and what's turned out to be a very good football club.
Alabama State today, they lead the country in sacks. Got 4 more today, which is under their average close to 5 sacks a contest. But the pressure that they brought with those quarterbacks already uncomfortable was a big part of it. So moving forward for Alabama State now, still back a game in the East behind Jackson State. They got to be perfect and hope for some help.
Yeah, they've got to watch the scoreboard, and that's what you don't want to do. You want to be in control of your own destiny. Unfortunately for them, they are not, but they can't lose focus on what they want to do. If Jackson State were to lose a game there, they've got to continue to win and continue to improve, because if they play like they played today in the SWAC championship, they're going to lose, and they won't get their ultimate goal of becoming the SWAC champions. All
right, Daniel Duhart and Alabama State get their 6th consecutive win with a 31-7 victory over Alabama A&M in the Magic City Classic. That does it for the HBCU postgame report from Lexus. For Jay Walker and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying goodbye from Birmingham as Alabama State rolls 31-7.